Here we're going live. Oh, hey guys. Welcome back. I'd like to introduce you to Justin, the co-host. Hey, Justin, do you know what my son used to say when he was a little kid?
What's that?
When he was finished going potty? Done pooping!
You're such... This is horrible. This is the first time in the history of our shows that he actually didn't tell me what his plan was.
Actually, the mic kind of clipped, but he used to go, done pooping. But the crazy thing is, when he was little, he'd get mad. So, like, let's say you were upstairs and he was done pooping and he wanted you to wipe his butt, right? First, he'd be like, done pooping, and you'd hear him, and then he'd be like, done pooping, and then he'd be like, done pooping. So anyways, that's what he used to do. So I heard Justin from a couple of floors above. He's all, done pooping.
You know what? I'm so upset with you. Okay, so he surprised me, right? By this. And now I'm going to surprise you with this. I wasn't pooping. In fact, I was invited to a meeting that you were not invited to. To discuss gaming things that you can't know about.
Well, sounds like I'm not that cool then.
I don't think so. And he was covering for me.
All right, whatever. Let's just get to the show. Okay, so... all right, awesome. He actually had no clue I was doing that. Okay, so now that he's done pooping...
Oh, come on.
We can get to the show. So today was probably the most interesting day of the show for us, but it was mainly because we went into today having, like, this completely different game plan. So we had, like, our game plan written out, right? Yeah. What we were going to do today. And then we did not intend on, interviewing Scott, the CEO of Arcade1Up.
Not in the plan.
No, it wasn't even in the plan. Interviewing John and doing that whole like idea of doing frequently asked questions that just kind of like came to be.
No, let's be open. Like the plan was this morning we did discuss that would be cool.
Yeah.
And we thought it'd be really cool to bring David on.
Yeah.
And so
David
that was kind of the
plan. David doesn't really get to be in the spotlight very often. Yeah, it's John now, right? Really.
And so, but we went and chatted with them, and all of a sudden David wasn't available. So then John came in and said, "Okay, let's do this rapid fire FAQ," and it turned out awesome.
Yeah, it turned out pretty cool.
And also, keep in mind that idea came from you guys, right? So you guys kept on having all these questions, and we had all these super chats yesterday, and we were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to collect all of the chats, all the questions that we can find, that we can put together, that they'll actually talk about.
Yeah, because we knew there's certain things.
And we'll just lightning round go through them, and they loved that idea.
But we did have, so what you saw, if you guys saw it, the interview with John, what you guys saw, we had a bunch of off-camera time with them, and we were kind of going through hey, we're thinking about this, and this, and certain things they were like, we're not gonna, we basically don't have any info for that, so there's no purpose asking. And there's a couple that, one that, should we just jump right into it?
Sure.
So the one that you guys brought up a bunch of times, so I don't think anybody tweeted this out or messaged us out or put it on any Facebook groups, but that Golden Tee cabinet that you guys saw that had Silver Strike, it was gone. It was off the floor.
Right.
So the Golden Tee cab was still there, except I think they just swapped out the marquee for the artwork that doesn't say Silver Strike. So we asked about that. We didn't end up asking John that live, but he's like, look, the licensing stuff isn't ready yet, and it was confusing people. People kept coming up to us and be like, where's Silver Strike?
Right.
So they were like, we just removed it from the floor to actually not confuse people, right?
People wanted to play it, and they were like, well, no, we're just showing you... and so they just took it down, and we thought it was something bigger, but it wasn't. It was actually really simple.
It wasn't a conspiracy thing. It wasn't anything weird. It was literally just hey, we are working with Incredible Technologies. They're the they're the developers of that Silver Strike series and Golden Tee, also Power Putt, and one other one I can't think of right now. So he just said, look, we're working with them, and we'll have more information on it shortly. But
right, and some of the other things that were talked about during that conversation that we didn't put in the main video was about the screw cap covers. We didn't specifically ask that, but there was a list of things that we were talking about where they're focusing on bringing. There's kind of like this whole like plan that they have, what they're focusing on, and like lit marquees for like all of the old is in the works, but not a lot of people are talking about it. So like, okay, we'll bubble that up and make sure people know about it. And
yeah, so the lit marquee, when we asked him that question, he said, absolutely, they're going to offer them on Arcade1Up.com. He didn't have like necessarily a price in mind, but he said a $50 target would probably be what they'd be looking at. And when I said what cabinets, he's like all cabinets, but then he said the more popular titles first. So he didn't like go do a list of cabinets, but he said, look, we want to do it for everyone, but we're probably going to start with the more popular ones. So maybe some don't get that treatment, but It sounded like that's a direction they want to go down, to offer that as an accessory on Arcade1Up.com. He said specifically.
That's right.
Do we want to just roll right into the questions we asked?
Yeah, let's go for it.
If you guys are cool with that, we're going to roll right into that. So
we can kind of elaborate on it, because some of the things we did kind of a lightning round, right,
Yeah.
with John D, but he gave us longer answers and prior to that.
Yeah, so the other one that we asked was, are there any cabinets other than NBA Jam that they'll feature the online capability like NBA Jam? And he said that he didn't anticipate that there would be any other cabinets in 2020 that were going to have that online capability. So, like anything, they're kind of, they're a pretty agile company. So I think if something changes, that may change. And he did also throw that as a disclaimer on there.
Right.
I actually asked him, someone asked in here yesterday about, and I see there's something in the chat about AtGames. We'll talk about AtGames in a little bit. Will Dig Dug ever get a full-size release? They actually were like, no, we don't anticipate that. So they kind of just said no to that.
Yeah.
The other thing was, are there any plans to re-release? This was exciting. So, are there any plans to re-release Mortal Kombat in a different cabinet configuration?
Wait. You know why it was really, really cool? Because originally they were like, no.
No, I think off camera he said no, and then on camera he said yes.
Yeah. So we started giving feedback of like how that would be really good.
Yeah.
And then on the spot, John was kind of like you could tell he was working through what it would take to do that. And he was like that would be tight, right?
Yeah. So I think you know why I think we'll especially get that. John D used to work at Capcom. He's like a huge fighting game guy. So I think for him, like getting those, not that Capcom is, I'm just saying he worked at Capcom. Street Fighter is a game he loves. I think he's into like the fighting game genre. So I can see him going, hey, let's kind of make these cabinets even better if we can. So that would be kind of cool. He didn't go into particulars on that, but he then said it and did the whole like, oh crap. John does this thing where he'll be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. So but he did say it. So we'll have to hold him to that.
Yeah. And if Zohar's in the chat, he's the one that was like really prompted us to push the MK stuff.
Yeah, because he was all about the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe, that was pretty cool, man.
Okay. I have to answer this question because Peter Giffen, Electric Drums, asks this question all the time. And I asked.
Literally just asked it right now.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see that. All right. So all right, there's this guy Mike. I don't know Mike's last name, but he does a lot of the development work, and his team does the development work on all these projects. And I said, will the pinball have an attract mode? And he said, we haven't even written the front end interface for it yet. So like, when you're on a cabinet and you see like you're scrolling through your sort of the front end where it shows you all the games, that hasn't even been developed yet. But he goes, I don't see why we wouldn't put an attract mode on that.
And we said from the person who made the suggestion, well, we want to let you know that's super important to some people.
Yeah.
And he did, like similar to John. He's like, I could see that. Okay, we'll make sure.
Yeah,
they're going to try. It's not like we're actually like causing them to add new features to it, but
I mean that's kind of a feature they do anyway. They do that anyway, though. Like they do attract modes anyway.
Yeah.
So. All right, what does it say? Okay, thank you. All right, cool. Yeah, no problem. All right, so I asked them, I said, NBA Jam's obviously super hot for you guys right now. Tell me what's going on with the game roster. So David McIntosh, their marketing guy, he has like a talk track he uses for the roster stuff. John said that same exact talk track. It looks like there's 3 players, specifically didn't name which ones, where they don't have the licensing for or the rights to use yet. And he did start to go down this path of he was explaining how you get the rights for each player. And I guess like there's like the NBA, something he called it like the retirement guild or something. I can't remember what it was, but he was basically saying sometimes you can't get in touch with them. Like you actually or they're not part of that like NBA retirement community. So they have to like go outside to say, can we hey, do we have your blessing to use your likeness or your name or whatever. So there's actually some that are, it's not even really it's not like they're saying we don't want them. It's saying we're trying to get them to commit to saying it's okay. It's just they haven't had some feedback yet. So some of them is actually just because they haven't heard back yet.
Right. And he did say like that's just where they're at right now. They're being just very open with it, and they at one point John did kind of say, like I think on Monday he was like, but if we push hard enough we might be able to have that done before it actually gets launched. But then later it kind of changed. He goes, but you know what's really cool is we can do an update.
Yeah, he's
and
like,
then,
if not, we just update it and add it
and
later.
I think maybe they probably talked to a lot of industry people there, and they probably, who knows who was there, like maybe people involved with NBA Jam, right? But the story by the end of this, by today, was clearly like, if for some reason they can't get 100%, but they'll still work on it after they release it, and they'll just do an over-the-air patch. Which
Exactly.
I think is awesome.
Which is awesome. Hey, Chris Guizot, how's it going, buddy? So there was he's a good friend of mine, and also he makes the Ralph's Retrospect videos. So thank you, Chris. Always love those. Those are awesome, especially the ones lately. The guy is on fire. So if you haven't seen his bowling mod, that was really cool. Definitely check that out. It's also got a cool personal story to it too. So Sling Spade said Zohar told me to say hi, so hi, and he gave $2. Thank you for that. That's really much appreciated. Yeah. So all right. So let me continue on as long as you guys want me to continue on the questions, I'll keep going with the questions. But we got. Let me know, guys, if you don't want to keep going through these. But the other one was, I said let's shift gears to pinball for a minute. Can we get a quick idea of what to expect at launch? So it's interesting, right? If you guys, I was Googling earlier today certain pinball terminology, because if you Google haptic feedback is like, have you guys ever, when I think it was iPhone, like one of the prior releases where they made it where when you push on the screen and then you push harder, it feels like you know what? It was BlackBerry that did this. Mm-hmm. BlackBerry in one of their like touchscreen releases made it so that when I push the button, which isn't an actual button, it feels like I'm pushing a button. But
the trackpad's like that too. The Apple trackpad, like right on my laptop, like this is solid, right? But when you press down on it, it does a little feedback, right? And so it makes you feel like you're pushing it down, but it's not being pressed down.
But if you look at pinball, like builder terminology, they actually just call it force feedback, and then the device that gives you that force feedback is usually solenoids, and then the accelerometers are there for the nudge functions. But anyways, regardless of the terminology, it seemed like him and I were talking about two different things. But anyways, regardless, we actually ended up in the same place. They're going to have force feedback, and they're going to have the nudge capabilities where it's not actually a nudge button. You're actually able to nudge the cabinet. I find that surprising with the price point that they're still targeting of $500, but if you listen to them, they keep saying $450 to $650 range. So we'll see. So he did say they're going to have that. So that's pretty awesome, I think, for a product that's trying to fall into some sort of like reasonable price point. All right.
So we have a couple good questions. We're going to go to the super chats in just a second. I think we should just take one quick break. One question was from Braxton Bragg. He said, what's your guys' favorite thing Arcade1Up presented at this CES? We can just rapid fire real quick. I can go with mine if you're thinking.
Yeah, you want.
I'm going to say Pac-Man. So Pac-Man's one that like NBA Jam. Like I might want to get that one, but Pac-Man I'm definitely getting. Like I already have Pac-Man and I already have Galaga. But this one looks better, so I'm going to try to figure out, like, maybe I'm going to consolidate and switch to that one and then sell those other ones or give them to friends of mine or something like that.
Okay.
But that one, like, I didn't expect it, and it came, and it sold me.
Okay. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say my favorite thing I saw was the pinball machines, and that's because it's a new product, and the fact that they're integrating features which really you only see on really expensive virtual pinball setups. Like I have mine admittedly is like $3,500, and it doesn't have any of that stuff. It doesn't have the force feedback. It has nudge buttons. It also has a lot larger play field, but but I didn't really feel like, and keep in mind, I only had limited playtime. I didn't feel like the screen size was bothering me. I thought it was pretty fun. So I think because that's a new product and they're pushing the limits as to what they're going to do and the price point, that was my favorite thing that I got to see and experience. There was a super chat. So it said, I'd like to contribute to the mobile microphone fund. So guys, I think what happened here is if you guys were watching it live, we were having intermittent Wi-Fi connectivity issues with it. Just we didn't have the signal strength we needed to like keep the stream quality up. But if you go and rewatch those videos, the microphone's actually fine. It's not the microphone, it was the Wi-Fi. There was one point where I had an actual microphone drop off a couple times, but we fixed that by pairing a new microphone. But the actual microphone wasn't the issue, it was Wi-Fi. And someone actually mentioned that in one of the chats. Those microphones are actually really expensive microphones, believe it or not. So I hope I don't need a new microphone. That would kind of suck. But thank you for the feedback and the $5 for the new microphone.
Right.
What was the...
And DB also contributed to that as well.
Okay.
They're just retro contributing to all the money you spent for preparation for CES.
That's true.
Okay.
There was a lot of money spent to get out here and get this all going. So, but I appreciate all you guys' support. All right, so let us know in the chat actually. So give us a 1 because we have other stuff to get to. Give us a 1 if you want us to continue on going through these questions, or give us a 2 if you want us to move on to a different topic. Because we also have the My Arcade booth tour that we did. We also have the NBA Jam deep dive, and then the interview with Scott. Like all that stuff was really interesting. So just let me know where you want to go. So 1, continue with the Q&A, or 2, we move on. And I'll give it a second. Oh, we're getting like a split of 1s and 2s.
No, it's
mostly 2s.
Mostly 2s.
All right. Well, we'll move it on then.
Okay.
All right. So there was one thing I wanted to show you guys really fast. So, when we went over to talk to Ric Flair, woo, and about his pinball machines, Gary Stern, right?
I think so.
Oh God,
It's hard. So we met so many
people. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, so Stern, we met with him, and people are putting 3s. We didn't have a 3, but that's cool.
They're like, we really want you to move on.
Jeez, okay. All right, I can't even think of what we're talking about.
Papa says 2 is what I was doing before the stream.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so what happened was when I went over to talk to Stern and we were looking through all of the pinball machines, he specifically told me you cannot record the limited edition version of the Stranger Things cabinets.
So that's why yesterday we didn't show any footage of it. We didn't capture anything there. But then we went on YouTube, and they have themselves their own video.
Yeah, they have their own video, and there were other YouTubers that had published it. So I'm like, well, why did I am a rule follower by nature, right. So I end up doing. He was literally like, hey guys, if you go back and listen to that interview with him, you hear him. I was trying to shut off my mic because he's like whispering things to me, and I'm like, dude, the mic is still on. Right. But he's like, you can't show the Stranger Things. And I'm like, okay. So we didn't. But anyways, I wanted to run the trailer for Stranger Things because you guys have no idea how cool, number one, this table is. And if you're a fan of Stranger Things, you'll appreciate it. So I'm going to run this clip real quick. It has audio, so we're going to shut up. All right, so I don't know what you guys think about that, but that game is hot. So yeah. It's not something where, trust me, it's one of those things. This is the sad reality of it. I was literally laying in bed last night thinking, how the hell could I buy that? Right. It's way too expensive. Right. But if you play it and you like Stranger Things, you're going to be like, I'm still thinking about it now. It's so immersive. Isn't that the best word to use? Yeah. It's so extremely immersive that you're just drawn into it instantly. Like, it's that good.
Right. So if you want to play it, I don't know if it's like, but I actually got to play a Stearns limited edition cabinet a couple weeks ago, but I didn't know what it was. I just went to this arcade, and it was $10 to get in, and it's near my house, and it's great. And when I went there, they said, "Do you want to pay $2 more, and you'll get access to our limited edition pinball room, which had about 5 more pinball."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, sure, let's do that." And I go in there, and I played an Iron Maiden Stern pinball, and it was just like blown away by it, right? Never played anything like that. And then when I played all the other cabinets, they were fun, but they were nothing like that.
Yeah, it's almost like after you play it, you're like, you don't want to play other ones. It's kind of crazy because it's such a different experience.
So maybe check out in your local
check your local
area.
Like arcade. See
if they have
them.
a limited edition. Now, one thing that you said that was really interesting is some of these limited editions, they'll actually literally only make 500 of them.
Yeah, so that one in particular, they're only making 500 of. And the thing is, so I have and I'm not going to go through the costs, but I have them. So there's, I'm going to mess it up again.
It's a lot of money.
It's Pro, which is the entry one, Premium, Limited.
I think so.
Yeah, Pro, Premium, Limited. So yeah, they're ridiculously expensive. But the reason why I bring it up is not because I say go out and buy this because it's ridiculously expensive.
Right.
This is like the rich guy gift. Like, this is what the rich guy gets to put in his house because like, oh yeah, I'll drop 10 grand on a pinball machine.
I bet one of their big buyers are just some of the arcades, right? And so if you know what you're looking for, you probably find one where you're at and go try it out.
For sure. But yeah, so super cool game. It's awesome. And but the reason why the premium and the limited edition, they're the ones that have the projector on that ramp that comes down. So when you see that ramp that comes down and the Demogorgons behind it, that projector is actually not in the Pro version. Mm-hmm. So you end up paying. So if you want to get the limited edition and you're at the premium, you spend $1,400 more. But anyways, it's ridiculous expensive. I'm just bringing it to your attention because it's freaking cool. And if you have a pinball arcade somewhere near you, like, check out to see if they have those Stern machines because they're awesome.
So we're getting some super chats. So let's catch up on those.
Yeah.
So we got one from I think it's Sathius. He gave us $10. Really appreciate it, man. And he says, "I love the Golden Axe can."
Can?
Yeah, that's what he said.
What's the can?
I'm pretty sure. Let's see. N is next to P, so he meant cab.
Oh, cab. All right. Dude, we love the Golden Axe cab. That was seriously, it's probably one of my favorite ones that they had.
The big thing that we got to mention is, like, if you're looking at it, like, I think some misinformation, even us, we said it wrong, right? It has 2 Golden Axe games on it, right?
Yeah. So
the kick plate only says the one title, though.
Yeah, they didn't. Whatever they did, I guess, like, they messed up or left out Golden Axe 1 off the kick plate.
They're gonna fix it, they said.
Yeah, so it has 5 games on it actually. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool.
Everything they showed was a prototype build. Yeah, you could tell.
But those games were awesome. And the other thing too is, so like, the other thing we missed from the other day is we missed that NBA Jam has the scanline functionality. So we actually totally missed that. We actually missed completely that it had a settings thing. So I'll run that really quick so you guys can see. But we I'll run the B-roll of the NBA Jam footage. But we totally missed that it had. That's why we decided, hey, let's do this NBA Jam deep dive video, because we completely missed a couple key things.
Yeah, and another reason is because there's a lot of people from last night's chat that said they wanted some gameplay footage. So we're like, okay, let's show them some gameplay. Like, you can take a look at it and see, if it's to your liking.
Yeah. And
another super chat real quick. I'm going to interrupt you, Ralph. I'm going to do that from time to time. Sling Spade is back again on behalf of Zohar. Zohar wants to know if Ralph will be getting the Sega cab.
Yeah, I'm going to get the Sega cab. I'm not going to be able to not get that Sega cab. It's too good.
It's 4-player, has 5 Sega games on it.
You know what what I almost would like to do with that cab, though, is, like, I'd almost want to buy that cab and, like, not have a 4-player version of it. Just because it's hard.
You're going to mod it and reduce
it
to 2?
I might actually, like, try to figure out how to try to mod it so it's a 2-player version, because dude, I don't want 4 players on it. It takes up too much space.
That's really interesting. You're gonna do a modding video. It's
I'm gonna reverse mod it.
In this episode, we're gonna turn the Sega cab into 2 joysticks.
All right, I want to talk about this real quick. So what you're watching on the B-roll is this is really cool. So this is like a testament to Arcade1Up. So they went and they definitely got the source code for NBA Jam, and what they did was, what the menu you're looking at is actually the dip switch menu on the physical printed circuit board for the original NBA Jam game. So what they did is they built a new front end, a pretty one, so you can they're basically going into the dip switch menu but making it look pretty.
Yeah.
Which this is actually, I mean, it takes a level of effort to do this, but if you were like the arcade owner back in the day, you could have actually, you know, flipped on the dip switches and then you'd get the service menu, and in the service menu you could do this stuff.
Right.
So this is cool because they're enabling you to do things that only the arcade owner
Right.
or the person that like had the access to the PCB could do. So this is like a badass, like I can't actually tell, like I can't even articulate it enough that this is one of those extra mile things.
Right.
Like this is cool.
While we're talking about that, we talked to the guy yesterday who he works on a lot of this, and he mentioned, you know, when going back to the Star Wars 3/4 scale cabinet, that was another one where they went over the top on how far they went. So they worked with this company, Code Mystics, to help them build all the emulation. And why this is relevant is because they use that same company to help them with NBA Jam as well. And so they went and bought a Star Wars original cabinet from a dealer for $5,000, and they sent it to Code Mystics and said, "Okay, in the Star Wars cabinet, there is actually a menu that's for, you know."
Yeah, it would have been the arcade owner's menu, yeah.
Arcade owner's menu. And if you go to the Star Wars, the cog, the settings button, it looks just like that because they went to that much detail. And there was actually, talking about Star Wars for a second, there was actually people that complained that they didn't get the emulation right on Star Wars because when the Death Star explodes, it doesn't look like that. But they're like, no, that's actually what it does look like on the original cabinet. What you're thinking is the MAME version, which got the emulation wrong.
So basically everyone, see, that's what's funny about retro gaming, right, is that people have played the emulated versions for so long that some people don't even know whether they're playing like the legit actual ROM dump of the real, game, or like one that's been modified in some way. So anyways, because there are a lot of ROMs out there that actually aren't original, right? That's actually a good, that's something that if anybody in the chat knows that, it's definitely Glenn. So Glenn of Glenn's Retro Show, he's had a lot of experience with that stuff, so he knows that. But if you look at the screen real quick, we did zoom in on the scan lines. The scan lines look great. And that was something that I missed the first time around. We were so excited seeing the cab that I completely missed the scan lines. And that is accessible from every single one of those games on that cab, so it's pretty damn cool.
So we have another super chat from Christian Salyer. Is that right? I think. Thank you for the $2.
We're back. There's no more B-roll. We're here.
Good.
Just letting you know.
Good.
Well, there's B-roll, but it's not. Yeah. Okay.
And then Sathius again, $5. Thank you so much. So for the Star Wars arcade, is that pull-out seat sold separately? And so the answer to that is not in the beginning. So, when they do this, the whole CES...
I didn't actually ask this. You asked this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they were saying, so they're going to sell it for $500, just like the full bundle Star Wars cabinet that comes with a riser. That came out at $500. They're pitching the same thing to the different retailers, with the MSRP of $500. And then, so the people that were kind of like waiting, they didn't want the riser. This is the option for them. It's a new product line for them, so that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But then later, for the people that have already bought the cabinet with a riser, they said they'll offer that as sold separately at a later time. I don't know how much later it was planning on being.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask because I assumed he would say, that way I don't know.
Yeah. Well, then someone else had asked if the seat, someone I think last night in the chat asked if the seat was real leather. It's not real leather. But it's a really like, it feels good. It's like a premium leather.
No. They said they were really, wanted to make it eco-friendly, right?
Yeah.
Vegan friendly. So they wanted to make sure the arcade cabinet was like.
I wanted them to slaughter. I wanted actually someone to slaughter a cow in front of me and build the bench. But cool, if you want to do it that way, it's fine. If you want a vegan bench.
Okay, so hold on, Console Kit. Christian Saylor, he made the super chat, but he said he did it wrong. Thanks for the deal site. I got 2 TMNT cabs for $199 each. And 2 Space Invaders for $74 each. I just want to say one thing about it. So yeah, I'm the developer for HomeArcadeDeals.com. This isn't a commercial. I'm not trying to tell you about the thing that I do on the side. Seriously, no. I want to thank everyone that reaches out and gives me a thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really, really cool because that was my intention. Like, there's all of these deals out there, right? at Walmart, and I just wanted to build a site that would make the whole process faster, because I was using BrickSeek, and to go through every single one is, and every day you go in and it takes me like 10 minutes to find the deal, and just to find out it's not there.
Yeah.
I can't change that, but what I can do is write an app that will tell you that same answer in about a minute and make it one click. And so that's what I tried to do.
Pretty cool.
And it's cool when I hear from fans that, you know, they were able to get deals. It's really awesome.
So should we move on to real quickly to the My Arcade stuff? Because that's that micro arcades. Actually, that's something big. That's a big thing that Mr. Glenn of Glenn's Retro Show it likes. So I want to run this real quick because this was actually pretty cool. What you're looking at right here are these like Street Fighter 2 little micro arcades by My Arcade. Now the reason why these are pretty cool is that they're independent, but they can also be linked together. Now the patent's pending on that, I guess, the technology they're using to link it, but they seem to be confident that they're going to get approval on that. But one of the cool things about it is, the price point's pretty good. They're about $49 each. I did ask if they were going to come in like a 2-pack kit. He said they didn't know, but they're supposed to be released sometime in the summertime of 2020. The only thing that kind of bummed me out was that you couldn't actually play them, so I have no idea how good this is going to work, but it seems like there's definitely an influx of Street Fighter stuff these days. I personally love Street Fighter, but one of the things that I did mention in this video is that when I was talking to John over at Arcade1Up, he actually was talking about, hey, I'd love to make a we overheard him talking about making a horizontal version of the countercade for fighting games. So anyways, that was pretty cool, and we'll see what happens there. The other thing too, it looks like I don't know why I keep having that problem.
Move on.
All right. Well, anyways, so there was 2 other products from My Arcade. They're basically one of them, and I'm gonna remember the freaking name of the stupid thing. Do you remember the name? I'm never gonna remember the name of it.
The Super Champ?
Super Champ and Super Retro Champ?
Yeah, it was like Retro Champ.
Retro Tramp?
There we go.
Yeah, Retro Champ. That's
Tramp.
totally different. She's, yeah. The Retro Tramp is a different product, Justin.
Right, sorry.
That's not a product that
let's
we
talk
promote
about it.
on this show.
So it's actually an interesting product. It's different than what we've seen before, and I think your comparison of you keep on saying, call it the Super Boy.
Superboy, the actual...
Supra Boy, right?
No, it's not Supra.
It's Supra.
No, it's Supa. Like, it's actually...
It's Supa.
It's
but
actually
you
like...
always say Super.
They can't say Super because of Nintendo.
Yes, but I thought you always say Super.
I say Super because I don't like saying Supa.
You gotta say it's the Super Boy.
It is the Super Boy.
You know what would be really cool is if one day we get sponsored and something like, they're all like, we'll give you $5 for every single time you say Super Boy, and we'll be like, all right.
Well,
it's the Super Boy, not the Super Boy.
I'll say Super Boy all day if I'm going to get paid to say Super Boy. But anyways, so Hyperkin has the Super Boy product. It's actually a handheld Super Nintendo. And at first, I thought that what My Arcade was actually putting out there was just a handheld Super Nintendo, but that's not the case. So their Super Retro, what is it again?
Champ.
The Super Retro Champ is actually this sort of handheld and tabletop device. So imagine like a much larger version of a Nintendo Switch where it has like the kickstand so you can put it on the table, but it not only does it play Super Famicom and Super Nintendo games, it plays Mega Drive games and Genesis games. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of big. Like it almost looks like iPad
that's
size.
What I'm worried about, right?
Yeah, it's
too
not
heavy to
really
hold.
very portable. But at the same time, it's having to accommodate a system to put 2 different cartridge types in. So it has a cartridge slot from the bottom and a cartridge slot from the top. Super Famicom, SNES on the top, and Mega Drive Genesis on the bottom. And then the one that runs the 8-bit version of that product that does Famicom and NES, it has to accommodate a whole NES cart. So right. I think the sizing might have been to sort of like accommodate a screen and the carts. But it is a pretty cool product.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
They didn't demo it, so we didn't know like the quality of the screen, and so maybe down the line we'll take a look at it. And what was the price point? It was like $99.
No, I think it might have been a little bit more than that.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit more, but I think they said the price.
It was $109.99.
$109.99.
Yeah,
yep, that was
so
it.
just a tad bit more.
Yeah, are you guys? I don't. So I know that on the channel I cover console stuff from time to time, but are you guys are you guys? I mean, I know we have a mix of people that watch the show, right? Some of you guys are just like, oh yeah, we're more into the arcade stuff, but I do both. So I enjoy looking at these console products because they're pretty cool, and I like the these little micro consoles, like that super, like the Street Fighter one. The only thing that it's just, I don't know, like if you watch Glenn on Glenn's Retro Show, who's in the chat right now, like. I don't know, Glenn, if you're in there and you want to comment, I don't know how often you play them. I think you enjoy collecting them.
Right.
I think, right? I don't think you play them much. But I can see they're very much collectible items because that's cool. I mean, to have a mini version of Miss Pac-Man that you can sit on a shelf. So I envision, if you're really into that, you could have a really cool display with all of the games that you love. I don't know how much you'd actually play them, though.
Right.
I think I wouldn't really play them. I think I'd just have them there for show. That's what I would do.
Yep.
But anyways. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. What I don't know what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, so
my microphone's clipping like crazy, so hold on, let me turn this down.
We can go back to Arcade1Up, some of the things that that I thought was
let's do that.
Really cool and really fun today. In a short period of time, we had this idea of basically it came inspired from some of the people that were chatting on the NBA Jam video that we did live. While we were doing that, people, they were really enjoying that video, but also asking us to do that on the BurgerTime cabinet.
Yeah.
And I saw some of them. If someone's in the chat, it was one I kept on
seeing. Yeah, it was
seeing
actually
was
a
from
suggestion
David.
from someone in the chat, right?
That's right.
To do that.
Yeah, and so literally the moment we stopped that stream, I looked at Ralph and said, we got to do something on the BurgerTime. And it was actually really interesting because we were like, it is available right now for sale on their website, and maybe some people are like, I have no way to look at it. If you could do show us, then maybe I might buy it.
And for those of you that I know, I had bumped into Scott before at E3, but we never really got a chance to talk. So I got a chance to talk to him a little bit. And like in my current job, my day job, I have to interact with C-level executives.
Hold on, I have to stop.
What?
Detroit Love says, "What up, live show? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another viewing." Dude, you're freaking awesome.
That's awesome. We love Detroit Love, so that's awesome.
Thank you, man. Okay, so Scott.
So Scott, like, I've in my day job, I have to interact with executives, and he's a really, really cool guy. And I get the impression, you can tell when someone's genuine or not. And I get the impression that he has a lot of passion for this project. I mean, he's worked in toys for a long time, and they had a couple of really hit toy products when it was Tastemakers and the Arcade1Up brand didn't exist. And I think this thing's really exploded, but he seems to be...
But he's got a mouth of a sailor,
Yeah,
though.
he does, like... The thing is, it's funny. It seems like everyone at Arcade1Up's like, all right, ready for the mofo and interview? Let's effing do this. I'm like, are you guys like...
Wait, you're the CEO of this company?
And David's just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, David's trying to keep all these guys in line. I feel like David's the young guy trying to keep all these old guys in line.
Remember we talked about this before?
It seems like
David's the father and
yeah,
Scott's
like, how
the
is
kid?
David the father at 26 of like 50-year-old men? But he
Right.
seems to be. So, but anyways.
It's actually cool to see that because, David is this young guy, right? And when they're about to do things, there's so much respect for that guy. He's awesome. Like when they're talking, they look at him like, we good?
Yeah,
like
they do like they do actually we'll recreate that real quick and then I'll get back to this. So like imagine imagine that I'm talking to like prospective buyers of Arcade1Up, right? And console kits is David, right?
David, right?
And I'll be like, yeah, and we're gonna we're thinking about retooling this. Yeah, we're. So there's this dad face like,
Yes.
what are you doing? And he's got his glasses and he looks real serious. It's just like, and they're all, oh yeah, so
Yeah, it's hilarious.
it's actually wicked funny because it happens more times than not. And John D is like, I don't know, he actually kept
the same
saying,
thing, right?
Yeah, he kept saying off camera, like, yeah, I'm probably not the best guy to do the interviews because he has a hard time holding back things.
Right. He wants to share.
Yeah,
Right?
and you know what? They're not a public company, so it's not like they're not being held to. They're a startup. They're basically a video game or an arcade game startup. So, I mean, because Tastemakers was a brand that's been around for a while, but I mean, this Arcade1Up is a new brand within that umbrella, and it's a startup. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, dude, it's like 14 months, 15 months old total, maybe a little bit more than that, but not much. I mean, as soon, like when they've had a product, their product's probably only like 13, 14
John D's
months.
all like, oh, we're going to go live on YouTube and hundreds of people are going to see this. Let me grab my vape right here.
Yeah, he's like, hold on, you guys okay if I vape and I'll bring the ladies? I was like, what the heck? He didn't say that, by the way. He didn't say that. That's
it's really
funny.
his team, you know, and it was really cool in that. Also, another thing, that, like, you know, it's like a family, right? So even if you watch the live stream, there's a lot of points where John D is looking, you know, he was like thinking, he was like, kind of, are we doing it that? Is it like that? Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's like that, you know? So he really depends on his team, and that's who was there supporting him there.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny, and you know, he goes a little off the cuff sometimes, and I think I don't, what is he smoking? I'm assuming that's just tobacco, but
Right, pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's tobacco. All right.
What happens in Vegas?
Yeah. I think marijuana is legal in Vegas, though, right? I think it is. I mean, I saw a bunch of signs. Justin just gave me the judgy look, like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't smoke. Do you?
I don't know. It's like in Back to the Future. It's like, do I smell alcohol on you?
What the hell, dude?
It was
You
like,
just gave me the
I don't know.
the
I don't,
dad
because
look.
I'm too young to drink it.
You just gave me the dad look. That's not even cool. But anyways, so what the heck? By the way, I don't know. Whatever, man. I don't know.
Let's go on.
All right. I don't even know
All
what
right.
I talked.
Okay. I think we're, you know, what we'd really love to do now is if we can handle it, because I don't know how many people we got in the chat right now.
There's a lot. There's 242.
Okay. If we can all be nice and kind, if you have any questions for us about anything at CES, go ahead and ask away, and we'll do our best to get to them. And we're sorry if we missed some, but we'd like to answer those questions, because I know there's some people out there that still have some.
Bob had a good question, actually. Do they aspire to go public? You know, I hope one day I can have that kind of an interview with Scott where we're not at a place like CES. He's just so busy. Like, you start talking to him, and think about it. All these prospective, is that the right word? Prospective buyers? No, see so. Is that right?
It doesn't sound right. Yeah, let's move on.
Prospective buyers.
Possible buyers.
All right, whatever. So possible buyers. So they're coming in, and so, you know, it was weird. Like, he left, and I was like, "Oh man, come back. We just want to get a picture really quick." So he's just really busy. So I don't know. I've never asked him that question, but I would think probably not. I think they have a lot of autonomy. Oh, all right. One quick question. There was a question there about Golden Tee. So I would say he pretty much confirmed the relationship with Incredible, which makes sense because they wouldn't have had Golden Tee if they didn't have a relationship with Incredible Technologies, which holds the IP for those games.
What else? What other games do they do? Like
they do Silver Strike.
They do Big Buck Hunter. Is that right?
No, they don't do Big. No. It's Silver Strike, Power Putt, Golden Tee, all the latest versions too. And there's one more I always forget. There's one more golf game that they have.
Okay.
And one of them's really cool. Like, I can't remember if it's Power Putt. I think it's Power Putt. One of them's like, and I actually, dude, don't ever play. I want to say it's Power Putt. There's one of them. Don't play with your kids because like it cusses like crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like basically it's a really cool game. So you're in like a mini golf. Like, you're basically at mini golf, and it's like the graphics are really cool. But if he misses, he's like shit and stuff. And I was like, oh man. So I didn't know that.
We're gonna have to move to rapid fire, man.
What?
We have too many questions. Rapid fire.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so we're going to answer without stories, and we'll answer with stories later.
Is that you telling me don't answer with detail? What are you saying?
There's like 100 questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Right? Okay, so some of the questions that we have in here, we did answer early in the stream. So, sorry, we're going to go quick through it, right? I'm going to do a few, you do a few,
Okay.
you know? So did you ask about a Dig Dub cab?
Yeah, he said no.
We did. We talked about it. They said no.
Yep.
Who farted during the live stream? We're pretty sure it was Patrick, a.k.a. P-Dubs. What are they going to do with the 16-foot NBA Jam cabinet? It's probably going to someone's house. Who knows? I don't know. That's a weird question. Do some.
Okay.
What happened to the Defender Wallcade?
Wait, hold on. All right. Does the scale of my arcade... What? Does the
You're
scale...
horrible at this. prospective
yeah.
buyers.
Why don't you do the question?
Okay. So what happened to the Defender Wallcade? Well, we do know that they retooled the Wallcade. So it's called a Partycade, but there's actually another Partycade that's coming out. So they showed us a Wave 2 Partycade. It's a little bit smaller.
So the width is exactly the same. The screen is smaller, and the length on the wall, it's like cut maybe like 3.5 inches.
Right.
But again, you don't really notice the screen size difference, but they cut the screen size down. I think they had the same issue with the Wallcade/Partycade as they did with the original Countercade. It just wasn't priced right.
Right, wasn't
So
priced
I think
right.
they had to
It
make
wasn't
some tweaks.
sized right. They changed both of them.
Yeah.
What was really cool is at one point they were considering just killing off those entire projects.
Yeah, they actually said that. They were like considering killing them.
So they're like, well, let's give it another chance. What if we
Yeah.
take the feedback that we got from both of the retailers and the customers, and tweak it a little bit and try it again? And now they're thinking, and I agree with them, and you agree with it, the Countercade version 2, $99.
Nice.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah, you guys are actually gonna like them, and you gotta look at them for what they're like. I know I've kind of set this idea that we mod everything, but I can see myself buying the little Galaga and sticking it like on my desk or on like a shelf and busting it out from time to time for like a quick game of Galaga. And they're using the original ROM. The audio sounded great. I know people were kind of critical of their original Wave 1 Galaga, but it's all dialed in. It looked pretty good.
So someone asked if they would revisit the trackball machine. We didn't ask that question specifically.
Trackball machine?
Yeah, machines with trackballs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when we were talking to John D, he talked about how so many people loved the 12-in-1, right? If they would have got the spinner right the first time, it would have been more successful. And then they showed off a 6-in-1 Asteroid Deluxe.
Yeah, and that one had the new their I had never touched their new spinner. I mean, it's not nearly as good as Glenn's. I mean, it's not close. It's just basically their same spinner but free spinning.
Yeah,
It's their plastic spinner that free spins.
I think John knows, and he's kind of the one that would probably propose, like, yeah, we should totally do the 12-in-1 again. So I think it's possible. And I bet if we asked him, he would say.
All right, so someone just asked a question that I want to dive into. So this is going to get into something that Justin and I wanted to talk about.
Sorry, all those people that are going to get missed now because he wants to dive into something.
No, Lightguns on LCD. So that was a question. So here's the thing. I don't think... I was actually shocked when they said that they would do the Buck Hunter for a couple reasons. So when I saw that, I was like, the reasons why. And this is actually a challenge I'm gonna actually propose to Justin. So I want, if Justin agrees, I want to do a proof of concept to say what technologies that are available today, right now, like this would be the challenge. Justin and I split light gun technologies. He goes and tries to build an Arcade1Up with light guns, and I do. And we come together and go, okay, how feasible is this for Arcade1Up to do with today's technology?
Right, and the goal isn't here to be like, okay, we're competing or anything like that.
No, it's just for us to divide the work, really.
Right, really. We had this idea. We divide the work, and then we would present it like, okay, here's option A, here's option B, here's option C.
And here are all like the issues that come along with
right,
it.
and it accomplishes two things. It shares great knowledge, and like educates, like here's all the different options. And then it also presents, this is possibly what Arcade1Up is working on right now. It could be one of these three options. Now,
because
real quick, we want to poll.
Light gun tech. I mean,
we got to do a poll, right?
Huh?
So everything that we did, we just talked about, is something that we discussed this morning as an idea for something that we do after CES.
Yeah.
So everything about this light gun, we're going to do research. It's kind of like a mod. We're going to present it on the live show. Like, we're going to do the work. We're going to present on the live show. Here's the options. This is a cabinet. We're not going to do artwork.
I'm also not disclosing what game I'm choosing.
Right. We're not going to go into the point where we actually do artwork or anything like that. It's
artwork,
all
just proof of
hardware. It's all like, here's the pieces, and when you're done with it,
But it has to work.
it'll work, and you can run with it. Hold on. Reconnect.
It just reconnected. Okay. Hold on. Let me just make sure. That was weird, guys. Hold on. So I don't know what you lost. I got a little notification that OBS dropped for a minute. That's what we're streaming through. So it looks like we're back. So sorry about that.
I'll just recap. So
Yeah.
what we were talking about was we're going to do, I think it was 3. I'm going to take some of it. You take some of it.
Yep.
And we're going to present a light gun solution. We'll do the work. We'll present it on the live stream saying these are the 3 options. This is never seen before in an Arcade1Up cabinet. It's options for light gun technology on an LCD, and you can use that information to build your own. We're not going to do the work of actually doing the artwork for because that makes it so much more difficult. And it's all proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
You learn how to do it, and this is potentially what Arcade1Up could be working on right now. 0 if you think this is stupid. 1 if you think it's great and we should totally do it.
So I'm no longer connected to chat, so hopefully you are, but I don't know why it's saying I'm no longer connected to chat. So see what people are saying. Was 1 stupid or was 1...
No, 0 was we don't do it, and 1 is we do it.
Okay. So what does it look like mostly?
They want us to do it.
Okay. So I'll give you my quick opinions on... Actually, you know what? I'm actually even gonna... All right. We're not going to talk about it any further because I have a competitive advantage that hopefully I can. I think I have a competitive advantage in this challenge, but we'll see.
I just said earlier this is not a competition.
Oh, it's not? Oh, but
No.
I'm wicked competitive. Don't you know that?
Okay. now you're making me think the design that I'm going to come with.
You better
has
come
to
up
be
with
a little
something that
bit
doesn't
better.
suck. That's all I have to say. It better not suck.
Oh my god. Well, okay. I've already thought about how I could one up it. Ooh.
Oh, how I could one up it.
All right. Thank you very much for the feedback.
I can't see the chat now, which really sucks.
And Glenn also thinks it's awesome.
Okay, all right. Hey, Glenn, real quick. Can we each get 1 phone a friend?
0 Hero, I hate you.
Can we get... What'd he say?
Console Kit says, whatever you do, don't use Duck Hunt. All right, we got some super chats. We got to catch up on.
I think that's awesome.
All right, while he's trying to reconnect to the chat. So, Sling Spade, thank you again. After seeing everything Arcade1Up had at CES, do you guys still feel the same way about AtGames Cab? Why or why not? Is AtGames in trouble or not, and why? We do have an answer specifically for that.
For AtGames?
Yes.
I missed the part about... I was trying to get connected to chat. I missed the...
After seeing everything at Arcade1Up had at CES, do you guys still feel the same way about AtGames Cab? Why or why not?
So, all right.
Is AtGames in trouble?
Let's try our best to keep this brief. I'm going to start, and then... Is that cool?
Sure.
I'll start a little bit. So my thing on AtGames is a different product, in my opinion. AtGames is like a platform, right? It's one... They're not selling multiple cabinets. They're selling you one cabinet, and that one cabinet does a lot of things, and it happens to be a software-based cabinet where it has hardware that you're going to have for some period of time, and it's going to be continually refreshed, and more options are going to be available to you. So, game catalogs and things like that. So you can't treat, I think, AtGames the same as Arcade1Up because their business models are different. Like Arcade1Up is pulling on those nostalgic heartstrings for specific titles that you like, and that people want to have a dedicated cabinet of that in their house. That's kind of my brief 2-second opinion. And I guess, what do you think?
I agree. So that was our opinion prior.
Sorry, I'm so
CES,
tired, guys.
And that hasn't changed. And I think that's the exact reason we didn't see anything from AtGames, because they have a different business model. It's a different plan. Whereas, here's what I think is happening, is AtGames is working with publishers because they're a platform, they're a console, if you will.
Yeah.
And they already have the ability. They teased before. They have a subscription model, they have an hourly model, and they have a buy a game model. So they've entertained some of those, right? The one that I haven't really seen is like buy a Neo Geo game for $2. I'm just pulling off the top of my head, right?
And that was something that they talked about. So if we go all the way back to E3, which seems like forever ago, one of the things that they talked about there, and at that point, I think it was still like alpha kind of phases, maybe like early beta.
Right.
And they said, oh, well, you'll be able to a la carte things.
Right.
Like, and I actually think people would do that. Like, I actually think that's okay. Like, if I'm even cool with... I would be cool with the AtGames. Like, imagine it being cheaper, but with no games.
Right.
And then you're like, hey, just connect to the store and you buy what you want. And some games could be like $2, right?
Right.
Like, if it was like $100 cheaper and I had like $100 budget to work with where I could buy games, retro games, I'd just buy the ones that I wanted, officially licensed, all that.
Right. It's actually not a bad business plan, right? So, whereas what are the challenges, right? So, let's talk about Arcade1Up.
Dude, I feel everyone's telling me I need a new microphone.
All right, so Arcade1Up, their challenge is, and this is honest, like we talk about this in the community, and it's so real.
What?
Right? One of the problems with Arcade1Up, two off the top of my head, space.
Yeah,
In the sense of you buy several of them, and then all of a sudden you run out of space. And so, of course, Arcade1Up is probably talking about. That's why they created like the Partycade and because they'd be like, well, once you buy one, maybe if you don't have space, you can buy one of the smaller ones.
Well, and imagine like I would believe that. All right, so the reason why we didn't see a bunch of titles on the countercades is because they didn't get it right. The pricing was messed up. No, you weren't gonna. What are you gonna do? You're gonna pay $250 for that, or you're gonna pay $300 for the full size.
Right.
But if that the $100, you start having other titles. They move the monitor orientation and make it horizontal. You know, imagine if they made baby versions of their bigger cabinets.
Right. They could re-release
that'd be kind of
for $99, right? The baby versions of Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Dude, you can't tell me. If someone told me I could have a pretty legitimate looking like tabletop Mortal Kombat, not the ones we've seen. I can't remember. Glenn, actually, if he's still in the chat, he'll remember. There's that company that just recently released that Mortal Kombat. He did a video on it, I think.
Did he?
I didn't get caught up in that. I wanted to. I couldn't find one, and so I kind of gave up. But I think the idea of having a tabletop Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter, like that's kind of cool. So imagine the possibilities they could have there at $100 if they did stuff like that.
Right. So now you go to AtGames. Oh, wait. The second issue is like the whole concept. What most people say in the community is like, I'm running out of space and my wife doesn't want me to buy more. Like, that's typically what we read. So it's this whole like, I'm spending and spending and spending, and you're like, my wife's gonna kill me, you know, because I just bought my 11th cabinet, and you know, and so those are real challenges for the company. They have to be talking about them. Like, how do we solve this problem?
And we've been talking about this a lot. So since we've been together for a couple of days, we've been talking about this a lot. So because everyone in here has probably been an early adopter of Arcade1Up, and you may have multiple cabs now, it's kind of interesting because the company's starting to evolve, and they're coming out with cabinets that you may like even more than your original cabinets.
And if you're running out of space, you're like, I'm gonna get NBA Jam, but so I'm totally gonna put Galaga on Craigslist now because I don't have the space.
That's the problem that I'm facing. This is a real problem, guys. Is that I'm actually having a problem. Even my modded cabinets selling them, at least in Phoenix. So like in Phoenix, Arizona, I'm putting them on Craigslist. People are wanting to buy it for $75. Like they don't care that I put a bunch of work into it. Their perceived value of this used thing is like $75 to $100. Now I'm not saying that there aren't people that sell one-ups for a decent amount of money.
Right.
But I'm actually one of those people where I'm like, I bought a lot of these that I bought at the time because I was really excited about Arcade1Up, but now I'm like super hyped for these new ones.
Well, it's the truth, right? Like, because it's a little different, right? Because you're not only a consumer, you're a YouTuber.
Well, yeah, I know it's a little bit
making
different,
videos, and so sometimes you built those, and you have a storage space of kind of like these cabinets that
it's not
like
good.
Yeah, so at some point he has to be like, okay, and then the other reason when you started this entire thing, you had a girlfriend. And now she's your fiance.
Yeah. So if I want to So if I want to keep her remotely happy. So like guys, I have the same problems as you do. It's actually probably worse.
Yeah, it's a little
worse. Because for me to look at Kim straight in the face and she goes, "So, how many cabinets do we have in the house right now?" And I tell her.
And you go, "I don't know."
No, well sometimes I say I don't know. But then I'm like, "Well, there's like 4 downstairs, there's 2 up in the loft. And there's 2 up in the room where I record the videos." And she's like, "Wait, what? I didn't even know there was 2 up there." And then she's like, "Well, how many are in storage?" I'm like, "Well, there's a couple that are in boxes." And it's like, that's not good. Right. And the problem is like what I'm dealing with personally is I want to like sell off a lot of my Wave 1s that I actually and get the new cabinets. But that's more because I want to get my hands on them so I can tell you guys, so then you can decide whether or not you want to invest in it. So I take the hit on your behalf. See if you should take the hit.
Yeah, so that now I know we're long-winded on this, but it's all about AtGames. Now we're coming over to AtGames. It's a different business model, right? They actually don't have those 2 challenges, right? They're actually selling you 1 cabinet for $600. And I did see someone in the community that owns 2. But in general,
what do you mean?
owns 2 AtGames. Like, they bought 2 AtGames cabinets.
Oh, really? Why would you buy 2 of them?
See what I mean? That's a natural reaction from Retro Ralph right there.
Makes
Why
no
would you buy
sense to
2
buy
of them?
2 of them.
That proves, but it like, hey, I know someone that bought 2 Arcade1Up cabinets.
Totally
You mean
normal.
like everybody?
Yeah, totally normal.
So those are 2 different business models. When you have a reaction like that, like why would you buy 2? Yeah, because you only need 1. That's their business model. And when you talk about Arcade1Up, there's these challenges of space and spouse. And when you say go to
Space and
AtGames, you don't have
spouse.
those issues. It's a different business model.
Yeah, agreed.
And so I think we're going to see more abilities for AtGames to be able to, stream multiplayer. They've kind of put that in like a little beta. There's some YouTubers that are covering that. And then I really think they're probably going to do some type of, because they mentioned it before. They said they would do like a la carte. And if like you said, if you're right, that AtGames is like a platform or a console, that's the no-brainer place they would go.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% view AtGames as a console. I mean, that's what it is. It's a retro game console.
Right, and we don't say, sometimes in the arcade community, people say like console like it's a bad word. We're not meaning it's a bad word in this sense.
Yeah,
right?
no. I think it's good. I think the one thing that I will say is about AtGames. It's kind of the one thing, and this is me as my opinion. So I'm someone that's been doing like emulation for a long time. So I don't really get bring your own ROM in the business model, because if you're bringing your own ROM,
Then it kind of competes with...
it competes with making money it's taking away from money you could be making if you could have a licensed ROM. Now the thing I want to be clear on is they're not selling you the ROM. You're going and finding it on the edges of the internet, wherever you find it. So it's kind of like your responsibility what you do with that. That's my only thing that's kind of weird. So like if there's any gray area, it's kind of that. But I think it's cool because I like having that flexibility.
I know, but I keep on coming back to like the Napster. Remember the days of Napster, and like everyone was just downloading MP3 music.
Yeah, it became like music piracy. Became like.
And then Apple came around, you remember? And they were like, "Oh, 99 cents for a song." And someone like, I'm sure you were downloading music at that time.
No.
Yeah, whatever. So
I had a really awesome I had a pretty solid MP3 library.
Yeah. And then, but when Apple came out, the convenience. A lot of people started buying the songs for 99 cents.
Find them ROMs, man.
Right,
Hey,
so
man.
we got 3 super chats we got to get to. So go through it. We're gonna scroll up. Oh, can you scroll up? Because you.
No,
had
I'm
to
having a
reconnect.
problem. So you're gonna have to
Okay,
get
so
to them.
Sarumara, sorry, $5. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "Hi Ralph, it was great to meet you at Game On. Been
by the way,
ever since." You're interrupting a super chat.
Carry on.
Welcome to Vegas, fella. Have fun.
Yeah, man. So I don't remember. Were you? So here's one thing. I want to talk about Game On Expo real quick. So last year was the first time. So I was brand new YouTuber. I'm not really that known in the community yet, and so I went and I asked John, who's Gamester81 on YouTube. I said, "Can I have a panel at Game On Expo?" And he actually, like, after some back and forth, he goes, "Well, what do you want to do it on?" And I said, "I want to do it on home arcade modding, like how to mod, what is all these 3/4 scale things about." So I have this whole presentation I did there. I had a decent turnout. It was 15 people for like me, who no one knew in the, at that time. But I am going to be back there this year, and they're actually going to make me like an official guest this year. So that was pretty cool. So like I think I'm going to have a booth and some other stuff. So it'll be pretty fun. And then if I can convince this guy, maybe he'll be there too.
When is it?
August. It's the worst freaking time to go to Phoenix.
Right.
So basically, like, hey, Justin, come on down. It's just 115.
I just have to ask a question. So here we had to get separate hotels. Never mind. So anyway, Mark,
Not separate hotels. I just don't want you in my room.
you got like.
I mean, I'm okay with you being in my room. We're in my room right now, but just like
he's
just
gonna
for the
kick me
show.
out the second this is over.
Yeah, like if the camera were to spin around, there's like a king size bed.
Right.
So
Okay, so Mark Walsh says, "Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Little donation for your new mic. Love the interviews."
Then
Let's
we're gonna
move on.
up
So
this
then,
mic
DB,
thing.
thank you so much for another super chat for $5. Thank you so much. From a Husker to a Hawkeye, enjoy Pepsi on that Southwest flight home.
Well, that's you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
All right.
Okay. Oh, wait a second. We just got a super chat. $5 Canadian. That's awesome. That's gonna be like $100 or something.
Sweet. That's like $600 US or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So,
thank you.
The release date on the new Pac-Man is the screen control panel tilted. For those that don't know, there was some leaked pictures on the internet a couple days ago, and people saw a Pac-Man version with the control panel tilted, and it was different. The one we saw here did not have that, but it was cool in its own way. So it's a 40th anniversary. They showed it with a lit marquee.
Oh wait,
custom riser.
Wait, are we wrong? Is it less money US? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know.
We're just joking anyway. And so
we appreciate it no matter what it is. So.
But we have some videos on it on the Pac-Man cabinet. It's flat, right? But it's awesome. Like, it's got this wood paneling on the side. Yeah, it's really
cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah, and it's got...
But the release date on it's TBD. It's second. Yeah, it's probably second half 2020.
Yeah, so they said... what's cool about that is it says Pac-Man, and it does have Galaga. And then a miscellaneous other Pac-Man games on it. So,
do you think it'd be more like Q2?
We kept on hearing this common
like,
thing, and there was a little bit of mixture of... We talked to one person, they'd say a date. And
let's put it this way. What is Arcade... All right, love Arcade1Up, but what has been their track record on release dates to date?
Early on, they would give us dates, and they would miss them.
Yeah, now they're like, it's coming next year. And they're like, it's tomorrow.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, you guys didn't even see it coming.
Right.
It's available now.
I'm pretty sure we won't see any cabinets before March. Right? Because they said...
It's available now.
They said if you pre-order now, BurgerTime, there's only 3,000. The ship date will be like March 1st. So that sounds like... Come on. That sounds like the first shipment of this new generation is like March 1st, the BurgerTime, right? Anything after that was more like Father's Day. Because they time things, and they did this last year. They time things to March 1st. They time things to Father's Day, and then a little bit in the summer, and then the holiday at the end of the year.
Oh my gosh, we got a really big super chat. Holy crap, from Hyper Sam. Thank you so much. That's crazy. Okay, I think you guys should do a Time Crisis mod. I basically told Justin to shut up right there. I'm like, psh, wait, super chat. Psh.
Yeah, well, you have the ability to put me on mute for a super chat anytime. That's how the super chat works. You do a super chat. So, and everyone shuts up.
All right, so just listen here. So it said, I think you guys should do a Time Crisis mod versus a VirtuCop mod. Also, go get some drinks at Paris Hotel. Oh, cool. We actually, believe it or not, so this is no joke. I'm not kidding. And this isn't me saying, oh my gosh, we're working so hard. But it's been like, we get up. We're at the Luxor, by the way, which is nowhere near the convention center. So we get up. This is our day every day. You can tell that him and I are engineers because we're wicked structured. We kind of have regimens, so which is kind of weird because we kind of do the same thing. We get up, we go to Starbucks, we meet, we talk about the day, we go take the taxi, take the taxi over to the convention center. We go to Hall B, we discuss again what we're gonna do. We film all our stuff, then we get our taxi, and we go back to the hotel. He goes, takes a little short break. I do. He basically takes a dump. Then we come back into the room, we do the show, and then we go have dinner. And no joke, that has been the exact thing every day. So we're wicked freaking boring, actually. So
I hope in the end, like because we're engineers, right? We produce, and so we have our structure, and we produce tons of content today.
We actually did produce a ton of content today. But there is something that I don't know if you'll ever admit this. So there was like a show we had, a live Sunday show. I don't know if you're gonna think. Maybe it was me, and I thought that you thought this.
You're gonna say this thing, aren't you?
No, you don't actually know what I'm gonna say.
I know what you're gonna say.
No, you really don't. You actually don't. It's not anything messed up. So we were gonna do the show, and normally I'm like really good at going and pulling all the clips that we need and kind of organizing the thoughts. And then him and I usually will do notes. We'll do like a Google Doc, and I'll kind of like update it, and we'll talk real quick about what we're going to talk about.
You're giving away our secrets, dude.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's total secret. We plan stuff. Okay, so but there was a night where he called me and he's like, "Are you ready for the show?" And I was like, "I've pulled no clips. I have nothing." Like,
when was this?
See, you don't even remember. That means it was good.
Because you do this all the time.
No, but were you upset?
When?
It was one show that we did, and I can't remember. It was like a couple Sundays ago, and I actually had zero preparation.
But
I feel
okay.
like you were. But I feel like you were disappointed.
I'm going to tell the rest of the story.
But I feel like you were disappointed.
Yeah. So check this out. So he was working on a mod, right? And so.
Oh, I'll tell them what.
No, it was. To be fair, it was Terminator 2, right?
Yeah, it was the Terminator.
Yeah.
2.
So like. We talked on Saturday, and
but I was kind of lying to you about what I was doing. Not lying,
well,
but
so this is
the
what
truth.
happened. We were discussing it, right? And then Sunday, I call him, and we're like, okay, so let's get prepared. How we doing? You got the B-roll. We're gonna plan out, and we're gonna have segments, and this is what we're gonna talk about. And he goes, and this day, because we were like, okay, we're gonna call, and it was like 30 minutes before we start. Which normally it's a few hours. We check in a few hours.
We usually talk about a couple hours before the show, just kind of like square things off. Yeah.
Right. And this time we're like, it's 15 minutes away, right? And he's like, I have nothing prepared.
But you did try calling me like a bunch of times and I didn't pick up his call. Do you remember that? I actually like ignored your call.
Was like, what is going on?
And it was up to like, it actually was up to like 15 minutes before it started. But were you actually, be honest, were you actually genuinely like kind of bummed out, like upset?
No, I went into, how do I fix Ralph? Ralph is in this mode that I got to get him, because I don't know, the relationship we have is really weird. He's the marketing guy, I'm the technical guy. He's the CEO and I'm the CTO.
But I am technical. It wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. Some people are. They
okay,
say
so
that.
here's where Justin. So because Justin, this is so funny, because
you're the face. No, I'm the producer.
Because I can't write code, I'm not an engineer.
No, that's funny because I've been going around telling people that you're an engineer, and then you slap that one on me.
Well, but you said but you said I'm not. You said I'm not the technical guy.
No. When it comes to this show, you're the face.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
the producer.
I was getting a little like ego bruise right there. Okay.
A little bit.
All right, let's get back.
No one cares about our.
We literally just had like a separate, like as if no one else cares about what we're talking about. Let's just bicker back and forth. All right. I'm sorry.
That was weird. All right, so we're going to check up on these chats to see. Let's see. Again, thank you so much, Hypersand, for the super chat, and that will go. This is our final day, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless we decide to go, I do need to get home. So my son's got a soccer tournament tomorrow, and we're about 4.5 hours from Phoenix, so I do need to drive back. So I don't know. Are we going to plan on the only booth that we actually didn't go to that we had plans to go to, and that was because today got so off the train tracks. We were going to go see Toy Shock. Now we've gone to the Toy Shock booth. So if you guys are interested, you know what would be interesting? I want to do this. I want to poll, are you interested in Toy Shock? 1 if you are, and 0 if you're not. And be completely truthful. We're a reality show here. So just tell me like it is. 1 if you care, 0 if you don't care. Go. Toy Shark. Holy crap, for real? Dude. I got a 0.0. Wow. Well, I can't read that.
You guys should visit the GameWorks arcade in Vegas, one of the coolest arcades ever.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Are you guys really that uninterested in that product? Is that real? Don't give a F about them. Who cares? Not me.
Well, we said a couple days ago we were going to try to this little community that we're building here to drive the content that we're making. Well, I think they voted.
Okay, if you guys don't care, then we're not going to cover it.
All right.
So I will ask you this, though. Oh, my God, they're not stopping the zeros. There's like massive amounts of zeros. I mean, admittedly, there are some ones in there, but not many. Toy Shark.
Okay.
All right, so I want to ask this then. Is your 0 impacted by the fact that Arcade1Up entered the market?
Oh my God.
All right, guys, try to stop the answers to that question real quick. And I know we're on a little bit of a delay. Do this for me. There's a super chat that says hug at the end of the live stream, so we're gonna have to do that. Just remember, we're gonna have to hug. It's freaking weird. All right, but I don't know if Justin's a hugger, really.
I hate the rule of YouTube that super chat, like, It's like a
You
dare.
kind of have to do it.
You have to
I mean, within reason. So
stop.
All right, so stop the that you're interested or not interested in Toy Shock, but is the reason why you're not interested because of Arcade1Up entering the market with a product that maybe you're perceiving as better? So
0 for no, 1 for yes.
yeah, so is your answer influenced what?
Oh my god. It's Remy 8169. I love you.
I didn't bring the shark costume. That would have been freaking I would have done it. The thing is there's no way so.
Now let's tell them what we did have a plan, and later on we decided we weren't going to do it, but there was a discussion a few weeks ago that I was going to record you. And,
oh yeah.
It was a bet. Like you would go in and see how many times you could say shark.
So I'm going to say this because it's so he was going to do this thing where I was going to do my interview at Toy Shock, but he was going to like give me money for every time I actually said shark. But honestly, I'm admittedly this is truth, guys. This isn't. I'm not acting at all. This is true. I actually feel bad because it's like one of the owner. It's like the owner and the co-owner. I was in one of the like Facebook groups, and she genuinely hates that I call it shark. Like actually hates it. So I'm kind of like maybe I don't want to piss off the owner of the company. Like I'm not trying to piss people off.
It's just a joke.
Yeah, it
right?
really is a joke. But the thing is, like, maybe she just doesn't have a very good sense of humor. But I mean, I don't know. It really is just a joke. And I have sort of an adolescent sense of humor, though. Like, here's the bad part about me. Her not liking it makes me want to say it more. It makes me want to say Toy Shark so much.
Yeah,
Toy Shark.
We did meet with them. We did talk to them, and P-Dubs was over there, so we were hanging out with him a lot, and it was great because they had chairs, so we could go sit down for a little bit.
Yeah, we actually did hang out in the booth. Everyone in the booth was very, very nice.
Yeah,
and they actually had guys from they had the guys from Farsight Studios in there, and they were super nice too. So, I mean, they're really trying. Like, I'm being like, let's be serious about the product. They are really trying to make improvements in the product. I guess there was some, I talked about it in my video review. There was some very floaty balls. They're balls. Hey man, I was playing that virtual pinball over there, and it seemed like my balls were floating around a little bit. Hey man, I don't know, my balls just seem a little bit more like free flowing than usual. Kind of like my balls tightened up. All right.
I don't know what he's talking about. All right, so we were going to do a second poll. Let's get back to that. So it was, we want to get details on. Okay, so it was a big no on Toy Shark. We can't.
Wait, someone said so. We're not doing the second poll that Ralph wanted.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so let's remind everyone what the second poll is.
Oh, okay, you do it.
Second poll is to figure out did the Star Wars cabinet, Star Wars pinball,
and the Attack from Mars.
Yeah, is that why you're no longer interested in Toy Shark?
Yeah, in Toy Shark. So just say yes if that's the reason, and
no,
and no if that's not the reason. If you just hate it, I guess. I don't know. If you just can't stand it.
Everyone's saying yes. Okay, so I think another way is everyone's super excited about Arcade1Up Pinball. It's essentially what they're saying.
Here's the thing. Sometimes being first to market isn't always the best. I think with Arcade1Up, the thing that they had going by their side is when they entered this home arcade 3/4 scale thing, no one else was doing that, right? They didn't have a competitor. So they entered the market, and they corrected fast. They course-corrected really, really quickly. So they were cool. Like, there was no one else that went, boom, here's our cabinet. It's better than yours.
Right.
They improved the cabinet. They set the bar. They basically were their own competition, right? They were actually making it better. But then it almost hurt Toy Shock to enter first, because Arcade1Up's like...
They say you're echoing like crazy all of a sudden.
Really?
Yeah. Am I echoing? Echo? Do I sound good? Do I sound fine?
All right, hold on. I'll shut my mic off.
Ralph has the echo.
I don't know why.
All right.
Well, now they can't hear me. They can only hear you.
I'm good. No echo with Justin. All right, so, You know, while we're talking about the pinball, there was a few people in the chat that gave us feedback on the pinball what they'd like to see, and we did give that feedback. We sat with the two people from Arcade1Up, and we set them aside, and we said, hey, this is the feedback that we're getting. They really appreciated the feedback. Some of it they had heard, some of it they had not. And the main idea is, what they revealed today. I mean, we were up close and personal with these pinball machines.
Can I see if my echo is?
Yeah.
All right. Do I still have echo, guys?
Does Ralph have echo? So the pinball screen is a 24-inch playfield. They recessed it down, which kind of gives that a better illusion that it's a real pinball, because that's its goal.
Okay.
And also they worked with the supplier of the monitor to have a very rich quality monitor, so it would give it that much more. That's the whole goal, right? Is you're trying to emulate the real experience as close as possible.
Yeah.
Trying to take a $5,000 pinball machine and sell it for like $500
for a really affordable price. I mean, obviously you gotta kill the idea of a gigantic screen size, because you're never gonna do that. But the 20, if it's a good experience, it doesn't. If it's small and compact, it doesn't ruin it for you. I mean, it's way different when you have a 42-inch screen, obviously.
Yeah. So I mean, some person said, is it a 4K monitor? It's not. It's
1080p.
It's a monitor that supports 1080p, 60 frames per second. And what their challenge is right now to actually they're going to select. They have not selected the hardware that they're going to use for the pinball machine yet. The unit that they had there was a demo unit. That's why they wouldn't have anyone play it, because a couple people did get to play it. Ralph got to play it, and
I loved it though. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked it. Now,
real quick. So they're not sure if it's going to end up being 720 at 60 frames per second or 100 or 1080p
at 30?
60 frames.
Oh,
No,
60.
they're going to be 60
it's
either way.
60. That's good.
It all depends on the hardware, and they'll be able to figure out.
I'm going to predict something. I think what it's going to be, they're going to find a really, really solid Android-based processor, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to have Zen tweak the software, like write custom software.
Yeah, a new front end.
Yeah, like
the game selection.
Even though there already is a Zen Android app, I think they're going to optimize it for maybe a faster chip or something that they can get at an affordable price.
Right.
I'd be willing to bet, and it's probably going to be the chip you discussed today. I think it's like one of the Rock chips,
Yeah.
right?
Did I say that out loud? I was thinking it.
No, you said it.
Oh, I did?
You said it out loud.
Really? I was like, it's going to be the Rock chip, right? It's anyway.
And they actually, you know what? So Justin's been getting good at this thing. Dude, this guy surprises me a couple times. So sometimes I can actually be, believe it or not, like, for having like what seems to be an outgoing personality, I can sometimes be a little introverted. And you were like full on, like, so John D.,
I was being the producer,
yeah,
right?
It was really weird.
My goal, right?
He was being
he's the face of this.
But you...
Like, we basically, I made a YouTube channel, right? And I started working you together. And those of you that this is so lame, but those of you that saw Star Wars, I want to say we're like the dyad, right? Like, you're amazing on your own, right? And my channel was okay, right?
Thank you.
I really enjoyed producing the videos, right? And I, did overlays and graphics and voiceovers and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed doing it, but it was really, really time consuming. So I was trying to figure out a way to continue to do that, but with my limited time. So we've been partnering up together.
Wait, someone's calling us Stern and Robin. Wait, like Howard Stern and Robin Quivers? If so, which one am I? Hold on a second.
So today,
I need to know the answer to this right now before you even continue. Which one am I? Am I Howard or am I Robin?
Yeah, who is?
I bet I'm gonna be Robin.
He's gonna be Howard. You're the face, dude. It's your channel.
I'm Howard. Okay.
Yeah.
Ralph is Beetlejuice. Sweet.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay.
So check it out, right? Like. Here's the deal. So Ralph sometimes has plans and ideas, and he's really good at organizing, right?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you're really good at organizing, right?
Because I like doing it.
Yeah, so I have a lot of ideas, and I pitch the storylines, and I'm like, okay, why don't we... I like tee you up. Like, what if we do a video like this, the video like that, and we talked about this, talk about that, and you're like, oh my God. Then I can organize it like this, and then we'll do it in this order, and then I can put the B-roll together.
But I can't do that as well alone, though. That's the thing.
Right. So then today, there was no plan yet to be organized, right?
Yeah, well, not really.
And we went in with very little ideas. And the only way it could be successful is if I walked up to Arcade1Up and said, hi, I'm Justin, I'm working with Ralph, and we have a plan. Do you want to work with us on it?
Yeah, it was weird. I actually did. You don't actually know this. So he goes, this is so weird because honestly, I don't view you as being the one that would do this, but you did. So he's like, screw it. We're just going to get Scott. We're going to do BurgerTime with Scott. I'm like, Scott the CEO, Scott? And then he was gone. And I kind of was like, who are we going to do it with? Scott the CEO? Okay, Justin, I'm just going to hide behind the NBA Jam. Right. I literally started hiding behind the NBA Jam.
No, but then it got really bad. So I walked up to Scott, and he's clearly in a business meeting.
Yeah, Scott's like, yeah, we're going to give you about 60 units of the...
And I'm like, hey, Scott, can I trouble you for 10 minutes? And he's like, what's that? And it was really cool. Another Arcade1Up rep came up and was like, hey, these guys want to do like a video. And I'm like, yeah, with Retro Ralph. And he looked at me and goes, done.
Yeah, it was
and
really
literally
cool.
Everything I said, I was like, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to pitch. This is what we're going to talk about. He was like, done. Yeah,
Scott,
done.
Scott
Not me. That's you, though.
But, okay, but I didn't
If
ask.
I walked up as console kids, he'd be like, who are you?
Console kids.
Anyway,
he
but
went up
it
to
was...
Scott. The real story, he was handing up to Scott and went, hey, man, you like Game Boy games? And Scott's like, what? He's like, I can mod your Game Boy with this consolizer. And the guy's, oh, the hell out of here, kid.
Right, so it went together really quick, and it was fantastic. It was
actually pretty cool.
It was like the coolest day in the entire trip.
Yeah, and Scott dropped freaking...
Dude, that scene where he's like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
and then he looks at you, he starts chatting. He's like, he knows the game so well. And he was like,
F it, we're
now we're back on.
He's like, F it, we're going to do it live. And there's actually this one guy, Mike, that I really like that works for Arcade1Up, but he's got like a little bit of a New York accent, like a little bit. And so it just reminds me of like, I'm trying to see if this is Kim. Okay, it's not. It reminds me a little bit of like my family growing up, because like I had a very, very, very thick Rhode Island accent, which is really no R's. You'd be like, you know, when people in a movie will, the typical thing that someone will say on an East Coast accent will be like, pack the ca. Like I actually talked like that growing up. Like I had no R's. And then I moved to California to actually go to school for video production, believe it or not. And I remember when that didn't work out, I got this other job and I had to do these presentations to people, and they would stop me and be like, oh my gosh, say that word again. And like, it was supposed to be a serious conversation. So it was like, I couldn't be taken seriously in California because I'm like, yeah. Well, first of all, I was in California with like corduroy pants on. Cause I'm like, yeah, in Rhode Island, we wear corduroys. You guys don't do corduroy in California? All right, anyways, we'll go ahead.
Okay, so there's a couple things that I want to mention.
Was my boy Mike in there? All right, baby. Mike's the man.
All right, so we had a really good question. They suggested a poll, and,
okay.
and I'm nervous about asking the poll because I wonder if it could go badly, right?
Okay, what's the poll? I'm scared now.
Right. So can we somehow can we get away with a poll that has 3 answers?
we're hardly able to do one with 2 answers. Okay, we can try. You'll keep track of what it is.
Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about BurgerTime. Now, this all happened because we were doing NBA Jam. And while we were doing NBA Jam, we're doing that video. I'm looking at the chat. You know, I filmed all the videos, right? So, you know, I'm going through there. Go ahead and chat down below, how horrible my job was at holding the camera. It got tiring because your videos kept on going on so long. I'm holding it.
You were doing a great job. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, so it was fun, right? So I'm holding it, and, I'm reading the chats, and people keep on saying the word BurgerTime. And there was several people like, do BurgerTime next because we're doing a deep dive. We're like, and the second it's over, I'm like, we're doing a deep dive on BurgerTime. And he's like, how? I'm like, I don't know. We're going to go over there and let's do it now. And we're like, who are we going to talk with? What are we going to... He's like, I'm not big into BurgerTime. Like, it's just not a game that resonated with you back in the day.
I don't dislike the game.
Right.
I wouldn't like I try, it's easier for me to cover a lot of the content of like Sega.
And you're
That's
also
easy.
like, you're not very good at that game. Like,
well, I'm not Karate Champ either, but
right.
but like you know, like Sega is like my thing, right? I grew up Sega, like hardcore Sega. So the Sega stuff I feel super comfortable with. But there's always things that like I didn't play everything.
Right.
And the thing that's funny is I think, you know, this is me. I'm not being critical. Maybe I'm a little bit, but I don't understand when people like they're my age or our age, and they've had exposure to like gigantic catalogs of some of the retro games because. As a kid, we didn't have the money to do that. Like I had like, you know, a handful of games and maybe I'd get one for my birthday or get one for Christmas. And that was like, oh my God. And you cherish that game. And even if it was a shit game, you're like, I gotta like this. It's all I have. And so I don't know, like I'm now as an adult going back and playing some of these games, like a game that I did not play, as a kid that a lot of people like, act like they know a lot about is Gunstar Heroes. I actually never played that game until I was an adult. The game's freaking rad as hell.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how cool it was, but it seems to be like when someone talks about retro Sega, it's like Gunstar Heroes, Gunstar Heroes. I'm like, did you play that when you were a kid? Because I didn't even know it existed when I was a kid.
Right.
But anyways, it's probably because I was addicted to Streets of Rage. Maybe. All right. Sorry.
So back to Burger Time, right? So here we are. We're going to do a Burger Time video. It's spontaneous. And within a couple minutes, we had it figured out. We went, you know, we're like, who's going to do it? We're asked to the different Arcade1Up people, like, who can have talking points at Burger Time? You know, who's really good at Burger Time game? And everyone was kind of like, yeah, I'm not very good at that game because we wanted to show
literally,
gameplay.
We couldn't find someone. We wanted to find someone. Our original thought was we're going to find someone that's like the expert on Burger Time, and we couldn't find anybody.
So, but very quickly, they were like, you know, Scott's really good at Karate Champ. We're like,
oh,
dude,
we're
that's it.
Doing Karate Champ.
And then I was like, I said, is Scott here? They're like, yeah, he's here. I'm like, let's do it. It's done. So we get Scott on board. We go over and we get it all prepped, and we're gonna record this, right? And he's like, I'm really good at Karate Champ. Okay.
That's actually not how he said it. He looked at me and he goes, Ralph, are you good at Karate Champ? I was like, I'm okay. He goes, I'm gonna kick your ass. That's what he said off camera. He goes, I'm gonna kick your ass. I was like, all right, cool.
Okay, let's do this.
I was like, let's do this.
Yeah. So we set it all up, and we told them, we're like, you know, this would be a great opportunity because what I told Scott, it was like, I think there's a lot of people that are in the chat that are on the fence of getting Burger Time, and so that's why they want us to do a deep dive of it. So this is an opportunity to remind them that, you know, it's available right now. This is what it looks like, and he can have his little talking points on it, and we can put a link down there that's like, if you're interested, you can order one, right? And we, you know, win-win, right? We get an opportunity to talk to the CEO,
yeah.
and you know, we able to provide something to you guys, and so that's what we did. And so then we put the video out, and it's, you know, it's doing pretty good. And we're like, hey, David, you need to tweet this, you know. And he's like, on it, sounds good, you know, because this will be really good for them, and it's good for us, you know. And now we're at this point where we've talked about that, and the question is Burger Time something
Are we getting to the poll finally?
We're getting to the poll.
Jesus, console kids.
Okay, fine.
Get to the damn poll already.
The question is, you know, this is why we need 3, okay? Burger Time cabinet. If you've seen a review on it, you know, hopefully you have, and you can understand what it looks like. We were really surprised that the cabinet looks a lot better than
it actually in person.
In person,
I actually like it because before what I saw. And I know what Burger Time used to look like. I see a piece of cauliflower connected to the cabinet. Like, you know.
Like in the picture, that's what you see.
The hat kind of looks like cauliflower. But anyways, it actually does look very nice in person. In person, it's actually pretty awesome cabinet.
It's awesome. Okay, so here's the poll. We're going to do 3. It's 0, 1, or 2. 0 if you have 0 plans on buying Burger Time. 1 if you haven't ordered it yet. And 2 if you've already ordered it. Now keep in mind, there's only 3,000 available.
I'm trying to keep track of your poll. What was 2? What, 0, 1, and 2?
2 is they already ordered it. 0, they have no plans. 1, they haven't ordered it yet.
So haven't ordered yet means they're going to order it.
You know, it's surprising. Okay.
What's up 1.5? What does that mean?
They're like
they're almost there.
They're ordering it right now.
That's Hot Pockets. He said he's ordering it right now, or whatever 1.5 is.
Right. You know, I you know, dude, you know what I'm gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Do you know what I'm gonna do for you, Ralph?
What?
I looked into the YouTube API today.
Yeah.
And when we do these polls, I can write a little script that will actually give us the percentage.
That would be freaking awesome.
Oh my God, that would be awesome, right? Like real-time results of 0 and 1. And then we could show it in OBS.
That would be awesome.
Oh my God.
Guys,
okay.
would you think that's super
hit
cool?
One. No, I'm kidding. Let's
hit one
not
if you
do a
want console kids to do that.
Yeah, we know that's going to be awesome, right?
So, hey, there was not to change the subject. I mean, how do you feel about these results? I feel like it's mostly, is it like a little bit of a mix?
I think it's a mix.
Yeah, it's like a mix. I kind of figured that. I feel like that cabinet's like a 50-50 mix. You know what game I didn't play, and I'm kicking myself for not playing it, is I wanted to play Bad Dudes. I didn't get a chance to play Bad Dudes.
I'm gonna mark the time, right? I'm gonna put my notes. The time we did this poll.
Have we really been live for an hour and 39 minutes?
Okay.
Holy crap.
All right, so we're resetting the poll. I'm putting a dash. A whole bunch of dashes, okay? This is the new poll.
Why are you putting dashes on? Because
it's like a separation. You ever done that before? You're in a chat.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
New topic.
Okay, new topic.
New topic. We're going to do one more poll. All right?
Pow, kitty.
The poll is, we've been on this live stream. It's our last one for CES for an hour and a half. Do we wrap it up and go for 30 minutes more?
Yeah, all right.
0 if we just wrap it up. It's been a good time. It's time to check out. 1 if we extend it to 30 minutes more. Wait, what?
What are you getting?
They want us to go longer. It's a tremendous amount of ones.
Oh, cool.
Okay,
there's a
so
0 for
we're going to extend this for you guys.
All right, but there was a really cool question in here, by the way. Someone asked... okay, so we are going for another half an hour.
Yeah, so super chat from Hazo. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for a great week, guys, and all the work you guys did. It was a lot of fun watching.
Oh, thanks, man. That's awesome. That's really appreciated. Yeah,
See, this is
really
live
appreciate
head,
it.
right?
What?
This is live head. We talked about it before. It's like when you're live, it's like we're not really nervous anymore about doing these.
No, not
but
at
there's
all.
a little bit of like brain fart every now and then.
Because we're tired.
Simple words like.
I'm a really appreciative.
No, we are not doing a marathon live stream.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? I'd end up...
Do you know how the marathon live stream works?
No, what is that? I don't even
We're
know.
not doing it.
Do you just not sleep or something?
No, the marathon live stream is like... It's like for every super chat you get, you go longer.
No way.
No
I'm not
way.
doing that. There's no
Not
fucking
happening.
way. There's no way. We won't ever eat. We'll like order room service. You'll wait for us. You'll watch us eat. You'll watch us eat food.
Eventually, you'll just see.
Eventually, everyone will just fall asleep. We'll be like this.
Asleep.
We'll come back and it'll say there's 0 people watching.
Okay, so if we're 30 minutes longer, let's
well, but
go.
I want to bring up this one topic because it's pretty cool.
Tell a story, Ralph.
So Eric Rosales had this really cool comment. He said, not to change the subject, and I want to get your take on this, dude. But do you see maybe with the success of Arcade1Up, another company bringing full-size cabinets to market, but at the Arcade1Up price points?
So, you want to get my take on it?
Yeah, I want to hear your take first.
The closest thing that we've seen is II Arcade. Technically, they are another...
Wouldn't you say that AtGames is the closest you've seen?
Well, that's a given. Like,
Yeah,
we
okay,
know...
all right.
I assume that question is they know AtGames is already there.
Yeah.
Right? That is a good question. Could you repeat the question?
Okay.
Could you repeat the question, please?
All right. Eric Rosales said, not to change the subject, but do you see maybe with the success of Arcade1Up, another company bringing full-size cabinets to market, but at the Arcade1Up price points?
Yeah, I guess the question is, what's the definition of full-size? Like, is AtGames full-size?
I'd say AtGames is full-size enough. What I view AtGames is they took the idea of the full-size arcade cabinet and cut it in half, so you don't have the depth, because the depth had no
CRT,
purpose.
right?
Yeah, the depth had no purpose. You didn't need the depth. You don't have a bunch of boards that have to put in there, because some arcade boards were like pretty massive, and you don't have the back end of the CRT, so you don't need it. So it was like, if I was gonna like recreate a modern day arcade cabinet, I might change a couple of angles on the AtGames, but the size and scope of it is actually pretty good. Like, it's kind of interesting because you don't need all that depth.
Yeah, so
I don't think they could do that at the price point, at an Arcade1Up price point, though.
I want to say Okay, so AtGames entered the market. They went with a different business model, and they actually entered pretty quickly versus when Arcade1Up started.
Who entered?
And I don't know this answer, but I wonder if AtGames kind of saw the opportunity as well. Like literally.
Well, I think for AtGames, their opportunity was, hey, if we're going to sell a platform and they're only going to have one, then we can make it bigger and maybe more the height and width of an actual arcade cabinet because it's the only one we're going to sell them.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah. So that's your closest one. And again, if you're the type of person that's like, I'm only going to buy one, and I'm not trying to get like that Pac-Man or Galaga or Street Fighter, like I just want a MAME cabinet, and the artwork can be just, what the AtGames artwork is, not like a single title, like then that's the cabinet for you. If you're going to mod it anyway, you can mod that one. That one has a 24-inch screen already, or you sideload games, or you play the 350 games that are on there, or you play the games that are in the cloud. There's a lot of options with it. A third player coming in, the closest thing to a third player is IR Arcade, but they're really early. They just announced a couple days ago.
They're really early. I mean, it's weird because a company will say there's something big company coming on their website to generate hype.
Right.
But I view them as really early on because the interface was really not finished.
Right.
It was there, but there were issues where
it wasn't production quality.
Put it this way: imagine someone giving you a product demo and then going, "Oh, I'm gonna go over to the other one." It's because there's some bugs in the code still. So
it's weird. We were blown away by that cabinet because they showed us the one we couldn't record.
Yeah, so some of the games there were 2 games that they showed us that they wouldn't allow us to record, which were really impressive just because of the frame rate and the graphics and the frame rate and sort of the titles, which you wouldn't really traditionally play on an arcade cabinet. So it was kind of innovative in that way, but it's very different to me than all the other things. They do have a little niche of maybe differentiating themselves because they're trying to bring this modern game spin. The problem is if their demo at their booth that they were showing everyone else is what they showed us, I think people would have been more impressed.
Yeah.
By showing someone you can play Double Dragon on an arcade cabinet, I think they're cool. Double Dragon's a good game, but it's okay.
Right.
It kind of ruined it. And they didn't have the audio. They had awesome audio. Their audio was kick-ass.
Right.
And the audio of the game wasn't working for
Double
the one
Dragon,
they
didn't have that wired up yet.
Yeah,
so it's their big selling points were couldn't really be.
Yeah, so I don't think they're going to make a lot of headway from. And he did say that he actually said that. So the IR Arcade guy said that they had units at Golden Globe parties. So I don't know how the heck they got them in there.
Talking about, and then the celebrities were going crazy.
But my guess is the celebrities were getting the access to the games that they don't want everyone to know that they don't have licenses for. So they were probably showing them the cool stuff.
Right.
Where they were showing.
If they could pull that off, then maybe they got some.
Yeah, don't be guys, don't be all. The one problem that YouTube has is that it's easy for someone to overhype something. We're not trying to overhype it. I think we're trying to just be realistic on it. It was. What they showed us was cool. What they showed everyone else was not cool.
And then we gave him that feedback.
Right. So let's be real with it. I'm not going to go out and be oh my gosh, IR Arcade is putting pressure on Arcade1Up and AtGames. No, they don't have anything to worry about with them in their current state.
Right.
They have to prove themselves.
So I will give you an example.
They're not getting a participation trophy.
There's some things, I figured out a way that we can actually say it now. Okay.
What?
Because previously we talked about.
Oh, by the way, there was a super chat, and it was from Canada. They said thank you for the coverage. It was Alan, so thank you, man. That was awesome. That's very, very nice.
So earlier we talked about we couldn't say this, but I think I figured out a way to say it. Okay, so check it out. We gave feedback to everyone.
Yeah, but you gave, I feel like you're so
I
much
gave
more,
feedback
I feel like
to
you're
everyone.
so much more mean with your feedback.
Not mean.
I
pulled up to different people at Arcade1Up. I was like, "Hey, guy, do you have a second? I'm gonna. We've been doing this live show together."
There was one point today where you're I think he would have been tired and didn't realize how it came off. But he went up to Mike at Arcade1Up, and Mike didn't seem annoyed by you, but I just sensed that he might have been slightly annoyed. You're like, yeah, guys, so what's up with the black shit on the front of your pinball machine? Oh, and I was like, whoa, console kids, like, let's relax.
Happened.
You're like, hey, I'm console kids. What's going on with the black shit on your pinballs?
I do not like the way you're. That's not what happened.
Kinda.
I went up and I was like, hey man, can you have? And we've already built a rapport with these people. You know, they like us. You know, we're coming there.
Maybe it didn't happen exactly like that. Maybe you were like, hey, there's some people in the community that have complained about the black. Is that how it went more like that?
I was like, hey, this is what I said. I looked at him and I said, hey man, so I'm going to give you a list of feedback that I think maybe you haven't heard.
Actually, I think it was
and
like
I
this.
said, I don't need you to tell me you're working on it or not.
Terry B, it was like this. This is exactly what he did. He went, hey, Mike, hickory dickory dock. The black no.
I will tell you what I did say to him that I felt bad right away afterwards. We went up to him and we talked about him.
I'm not gonna say it, Terry. I wasn't actually. You know when sometimes you start saying something, oh wow, this isn't gonna go the right way. That was one of those things.
As you went to it, I'm like,
hickory dickory dock, and then
there's nothing good that rhymes with it.
Well, the original quote, and then I'm trying to figure out how to put the black in the pinball, and I was like, oh crap, this is just not good. So, anyways, no, I didn't. Wherever that was going, it was going in the wrong place. That's why I stopped. Okay.
All right. You're painting me as like a mean guy.
No, he wasn't mean. He wasn't mean at all.
I went to him like totally like as humble as possible. Like prefaced it with, dude, I love everything that you've done. And I think one of the best things is that you listen to feedback. And there's some things people are going crazy about the Star Wars pinball. But there's a tiny bit of feedback that we did hear in the live chat that we want to bring up to you. And I'm like, it's this and this, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the one thing. You were really, I'd say sometimes, so I'll be the first to admit that I can sometimes do this. Sometimes it's hard to be critical. It's good. It's constructive feedback. But sometimes I'm more afraid of like, I don't want to, because I know if you're an inventor, sometimes it's hard to hear the negative feedback, especially if you're the one that built it. It's not meant to be negative, but sometimes it really is as basic as, hey, people think that black strip in the front of the pinball is ugly. Like, what are you planning on doing with that? And I think when you're the inventor, maybe they didn't think of that, or maybe that's the first time they heard it. But I guess it is good for them to hear it. Now, I don't know what their plan is to do with that. Now, I'll tell you, when I played it, what he's talking about is on the front of the pinball, and I wish I could run the footage right now, but there's this sort of black strip before the actual play field starts.
Right.
Now, I got to play it, so my palms were kind of rested on
once
the top.
You're like holding it, it makes sense.
How are you holding it? I don't play pinball like this. I don't know what kind of pinball console kids plays, but clearly it's some different kind of pinball.
I was holding it when no one was looking because they didn't officially give me.
Hey, what's wrong with your pinballs? This doesn't feel right. This ain't a pinball machine.
Don't go where I think you're going. Okay, so whatever.
You went like this, dude.
I did a freaking gesture.
But you did it like this.
Change the subject. One thing no one's talking about that's awesome about the Star Wars pinball, it has deck protectors. Do you know where they put the deck protector? It has 2 deck protectors.
On the sides.
On the side, right where the
I
buttons
thought you were going to try to
are.
make a joke.
No, there's no joke.
Buttons, the sides have condoms on them.
No, it's really cool. Like where you put your hands.
They have like
it's
side
this little
condoms.
circle. It's built in. It's not like you have to install it or anything like that. But it's where your hands are going to be, and there's a little extra protection for so it doesn't.
Oh my God! Someone had. See, I should have thought of this. Robbie Rewind has it perfect. What's up with the knockers on your pinball? That's actually awesome.
All right, we got another super chat from Sean Powers. We thank you very, very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
Do you think a WWF wrestling WrestleFest cab would be impossible because they would have to go back and rewrite the game and have to put WWE logos in it?
Huh. Oh shoot, I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know. Maybe
that
they can't, because I don't think you could release it.
So tell you what. Thank you so much.
poll.
I'm copying this, Actually, I'm just gonna screenshot
I just said
it.
not another. I thought he was going to do another poll. I'm like, jeez.
No, I'm
not another
screenshotting
poll.
and putting it in my notes.
Oh my gosh, I got to text Kim. She's going to kill me. Hold on, guys. I got to at least tell her we're still doing the show.
All right, so that's a really good question, and we can pose that to them, and we can get back to you. I'm gonna put it in my notes, and then in a later stream we can bring that up. So thank you so much for joining and the super chat. Okay, so he's texting his fiance Kim, who you may not know was I replaced her, which was really weird on the show. It was you and classic Kim.
She was on a couple shows,
and she did a couple shows, and she's like, you were gonna do like this whole thing with her, and she's like, you know what, Ralph, I'm out.
Well, so here's the thing. Here's the thing you need to know about Kim. So Kim is awesome. She's seriously like my favorite person in the whole world. Well,
except for that one time I
kids.
called
And
you, and you're like, who you on the? She's like, hey, Ralph, who you on the phone with? You're like, it's Josh, and she's like, oh.
She actually likes you, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
So yeah, which is good. No, not believe it or not. I didn't mean believe it or not. No, she actually really likes you, so it's cool. She's like, you know what? I really like Justin, but I can see why. But no. So Kim is like kind of
Sorry,
as awesome
that
as
came
Kim...
out weird. Hot Pockets. I didn't mean it in a weird way.
What?
Hot Pockets is like Justin just said in Ralph's hotel room. I replaced Kim.
No. Oh God. All right. So seriously, let me say this really quick. So Kim, she really doesn't like being on the camera. But the thing that pains me is that if you go back and look at a video, if you're interested, go back and look at a video that do Retro Ralph SoCal Retro Gaming Expo or SoCal Retro Gaming or something like that, and she did an intro and she freaking nailed it.
Yeah.
Like.
That's
awesome.
That's the one I subscribe to.
Cool. She's really good, but she doesn't like being in front of the camera. It's weird, and I keep telling her she's actually very, very shy. So for those of you who don't know,
her name was originally Console Kim.
No,
we just had to change one letter.
Classic Kim with a C.
That's what they're saying in the chat.
Oh God. All right. Anyways, do you guys really want this show to keep going? I mean, we're coming up. We have 5 minutes left. So
all right. Yeah.
Console Kim, whatever.
No, so
oh my God. I just watched this clip. I just watched this Saturday Night clip with Kim. Oh my gosh, that's how someone said it's not gay if it's a three-way. So that's actually from a Saturday Night Live clip with Justin Timberlake and who's the guy? Adam Sandberg, maybe? It's actually really funny.
All right. Yes.
It's a really funny clip.
Okay, let's see. One thing we did say to Mike is he could be on the show as long as we could make fun of him. Remember that? That's the only thing that I ever said that I immediately regretted.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, he's got all these great stories, and we had this idea of bringing people on and let them tell their story. No.
Yeah, and she put the shy face. She put the monkey covering her eyes. She is really shy. I love her. She's my favorite.
Sorry, Classic Kim. I figured we were producing so much content you would never hear the things I just said.
Now Kim thinks Justin's a creep because he plays pinball like this. So she's like, yeah, you know what I said about him being cool? We're going to retract that.
All right. Well, Kimberly, thank you so much for joining our chat.
Console Kim in the house. Oh God, no, she's not gonna like console Kim.
Yeah, I get it. You take. What did you say to her? Like, I'm gonna put your. Oh my God! What? You told her to come on here?
It's locked, guys. Don't let him fool you.
Okay. You know, this entire time I kept on doing this to him. I was like.
Oh, because give me that. So we have this little camera rig that we use, and so I'd give him the camera. I'd be like, all right, we're ready to go live. And all he'd have to do is press live, but the phone will time out after a while. So he'd be like taking this whole camera rig. So imagine he's like taking this camera rig and he's like shoving it in my face.
Like all of a sudden I'm like,
to get it to unlock.
He's talking to someone. I shove it in his face and it unlocks. And I'm like, okay, we're ready to go live.
Yeah, I'm like, why? What the hell? But it was because of that. But anyways.
I should have just put in your passcode. I saw you enter it 50,000 times. Which he'll be changing now.
Okay, so...
Someone asked about Dragon's Lair. Do you know what's really cool? Like we said, so you guys gonna build a Dragon's Lair? They're like, yes.
Yeah, they actually just said yes.
Yes.
They were like, yeah, we're building the Dragon's Lair. So the one thing though that I kind of like did the one thing that so this is what I'm gonna do a little thing. This is gonna be off of your prediction actually. So I'm gonna double down on your prediction. I think they don't show it at CES. What's the time frame for that anniversary thing, the movie or whatever?
Oh, it's like May.
Okay.
May 1st.
I bet you're right. They're gonna be quiet about it, and then they're gonna like drop the bomb to piggyback off the movie.
Right, and we did say
But
they
when's
plan on
E3?
just
I can't
doing it
remember.
exclusive on their site. So
When's E3? I thought E3 is April.
So that's another thing
Yeah.
that's really cool. They've in the last, I don't know, couple. I don't know.
No, but see, Christian, E3 wouldn't make sense because E3 I think is going to be after the movie. Hold on.
That's right.
Hold on, I'm going to look up when. If you guys want to look it up, when's E3? I can look it up, but then I'm going to be ignoring
Yeah.
you
So
guys.
if someone has a second screen with them, they can look up when E3 is.
Someone said May. I got a bunch of Mays. Oh, wait. No, it's June 9th through the 11th.
Yeah. So if you look at IMDb, there's IMDb it shows a new movie called Dragon's Lair that's made by
Hey, thanks, Sam.
the guys that made Dragon's Lair video game. They're making it into a movie. According to IMDb, that's the only news I've ever heard. I just by chance
you're
was
saying
looking
when's
it up.
the movie supposed to come out?
I think it was May 1st, 2020.
Okay, so then an E3 wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think they're smart. They're freaking smart. They're gonna double down. They're gonna. I wouldn't be surprised that stuff's already being pretty much done, and they're gonna drop it right when that movie comes out. Because they had to talk to him anyway, right? What's that guy's name? I can't remember. I'm so bad with names, guys. I'm like, yeah.
There's so many names we've been.
I interviewed Penelope over at Stern Pinball. And I talked to Ric Flair.
I have a great idea to wrap up.
What's that?
What
I'm
is
supposed to hug you. I hug you.
Oh my! You remembered that? If you didn't say anything, we just would have went on.
Kim? Were you in here when someone actually paid us money that I have to hug him at the end of this show?
Can we just shake hands? It's like a hand hug.
They said hug. You have to do
right,
what they
whatever.
say. You have to do what they say.
You know what they're gonna?
What?
Never mind.
All right,
If I say it, then
we
they're
have to
gonna
wrap
do it.
up. It's getting late. I'm really hungry.
Okay. That's how we wrap it up. So.
They don't want to see hangry Ralph. You've experienced him a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Kimberly
an
experiences it every day, I'm sure. So check it out.
What?
I said Kim probably experiences it every day.
I don't know. Kim got quiet in there. Kim has to work really early tomorrow
so
morning,
check
I'm
this
assuming
out.
Kim's probably
CES
sleeping
was
or-
amazing. We're probably gonna talk about it next time we do a live when we're back at home. Probably digest it and rethink some of the things we'll probably. But there was some big surprises that I thought were pretty spectacular, and the big one for me was Pac-Man. The obvious things are Star Wars, right? Star Wars pinball, amazing. Like I talked to my 11-year-old daughter. I'm like, so they came out with this and this and this and that. What do you think we should do? Maybe we can get one immediately. Star Wars pinball is what she wants, but I have this other plan of doing that, but also the Pac-Man. Recycle the existing Pac-Man and Galaga that I have and condensing it to this one. So pretty excited about that. Retro Ralph.
My favorite part of E3. Does it have to?
CES.
CES. Does it have to be? Can it be the whole thing?
Sure. Why not?
So. I feel like I'm predictable in this answer, but I feel like because it might have been because of what I was doing before CES. So before CES, I was working on that Toy Shock mod, the one I did with the T2. So I was like really entrenching myself into this virtual pinball world. And I've never claimed to be a virtual pinball expert. I'm really still learning. And actually, Detroit Love, who was in here earlier today, helped me with a couple things that I was having some troubles with, because virtual pinball is a different beast. Like, you got to go and configure the software, and it's just not as easy as like MAME emulation, and the data's out there, though the information's out there. So anyways, the thing I think I had the most appreciation for at the show was the fact that what they showed, if they can refine a couple things, which it seems like it's not fully done, the pinball was just like, it kind of blew my mind, because if they're even able to do it at 600, what?
Sorry, this is more important.
What?
But we have Gregory Hobbs gave us a super chat. Cancels out the hug. Thank you so
wait
much.
But hold on. I mean, not that I'm kind of grateful for that, but like, is that a thing? Like, this is a thing. So
Yeah.
he has
Like, he
canceled
owns
the hug. Okay, cool. All right, and then it says, For some beer after the hug. Thanks for hearing you guys describe the whole experience from Mark. Thanks, Mark. That's awesome.
Wait, did Mark just turn the hug back on?
Oh, well,
what
he
just happened?
doesn't say. Well,
no. Mark,
those could have happened at the same.
Hug is back.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Everyone's saying the hug is back. That's the rules.
Huh.
I don't make the rules. YouTube does. The community
Okay,
does.
all right. So the hug is back, I guess. Whatever.
Hey, Zohar. Yes, you're welcome. That was all you, brother. Like, seriously, Zohar, you pushed us really hard.
I think Kim fell asleep because I want to know what she thinks about this whole hug thing.
Zohar pushed us really hard and said, can you please ask about MK? So we literally pulled John aside, and it was one of the first things I told him. And he was a little bit on the fence. Like, he was like, I don't think we really have that in the plans, but why not? And it was like he was figuring it out. And, it's possible they won't do it. Who knows? There's no guarantee unless.
Yeah, because John was in that kind of like, I mean, the one thing is so if there's one thing that I can take out of, not the interview with John, but there was a point where Justin and I were standing in front of the new countercades, and a bunch of buyers came up, and he basically was like, yeah, we can totally do a Street Fighter, and that's like what we're planning to do.
It's like Capcom he was talking to. Right?
Yeah, he was talking to Capcom. We're totally going to do a Street Fighter, blah, blah. It's going to be awesome. And then he walks away. Justin and I were staying right there because we were going to film the countercade video, at that one where I picked up the countercade, and he comes back. He's like, "Hey man, you're not gonna like share that, right?" Or like but like it's such a play because
we're like,
I
no.
think John's like, "Don't share it," but yet he really wants us to share it because then
well,
you guys
he was
hear
kind
it.
of like, "It's okay, I guess, whatever."
Yeah, it's just weird.
Because I think he realized we're in a public location, and he said something that we overheard.
Well, but
it's the same reason why David McIntosh said. You remember we were talking to John and David was there and they were about to take the pinball machine apart and he was like, "Hey guys, don't do that."
Yeah, so guys,
and we looked over and
so
we're
guys,
like,
I'm standing right next to David right here, and Justin's like right here inside of me, and the pinball is on this thing that spins, as you've probably seen the footage, right? And so they're about to unscrew the back part.
I think there was like someone important there that they wanted to see.
Yeah, they wanted to see like the insides.
And they were like, "Nope."
And David's like, hey guys, not right now. And I'm like, David, why? He's
because
like,
then we would have all the specs.
Yeah. David's like, seriously? He gave me the look. David's just like, seriously? Because he knew that I was going to be like, Justin and I would have been like, pictures. I wouldn't have posted it though, because that wouldn't have been cool. But we would have probably told you guys.
Okay, so another super chat from, thank you so much, Seth Lacey. Appreciate you, the super chat. And this is a great question, fantastic question. The biggest surprise from Arcade1Up at CES.
Wait, what?
The biggest surprise. And, what's the definition of a surprise? Something that you didn't expect and you were surprised. And, what's honestly, there was in general, in my opinion, and this will get you going, okay? I need to wind Ralph up, okay? So this is me winding him up. When we went there, we were all focused on the leaks. Are the leaks real? Are we really going to see this cabinet or that cabinet or that cabinet? And the big surprise is we saw way more cabinets than we expected.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first part of the surprise. The big surprise was there's a whole bunch of other things that we did not expect at all. Yeah. Completely retooled countercade, Wave 2 countercade for $99. Smaller size. Looks like they're going to finally do a horizontal one. We didn't see one, but they talked about it.
Yeah, they talked about that.
Partycade, retooled, smaller size. It'll probably be still QVC, maybe a better pricing model is what they're talking about. The entire micro side, working with Coleco.
The micro things I knew nothing about, and then the little the ones that are like the little consoles with the TVs as the screens, like those are really cool. Like, but those, it's interesting because I'm not as much into the collectible stuff, but I kind of want it though because it's cool. It's weird though if you guys know New Wave Toys. They kind of cramp in New Wave Toys style a little bit because that's what New Wave Toys does. So it's interesting. Like Arcade1Up's really, I guess my biggest surprise is this. Arcade1Up, if anything at this show, was like, we're gonna own this shit. That's basically what I got out of it. They're very They're
okay,
very,
if
like,
you go
we're
look at
gonna
it,
own
there's this. So there's the micro. There's like they were creating a new space that's like, hey, look, it's a
Yeah.
small, tiny little. Well, the tiny arcade is a thing.
They were like, look, at the end, Mike went into the meeting. He's like, look, guys, we did a beautiful, phenomenal job. The only thing I got to say, though, is that did any of you people realize that Pac-Man's mouth was crotch level? My God, you guys, who's doing the QA around here?
Right. So those giant joysticks, I don't think that competes with anything on the market. So that's a brand new category. They got the Coleco, which was a Kickstarter that Coleco came back with, and they came out with two modern versions of Coleco that didn't do very well. And Arcade1Up reached out to them and said, "We'll pick that up and we'll put our licensed games on
By
it."
the way, that whole this whole thing that I showed the other day, I think I still have it in the thing.
So
Justin's ignoring me.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
I'm
cool.
ignoring you. So they're
Cool, bro.
basically, we're gonna own the tiny arcade. So that's like a little TV and a little Commodore 64. We want to own that. They want to own the dongle with a 2.4 gigahertz controller. We're gonna throw the Disney assets on that. They're like, we want to own that now.
We're doing the Pac-Man sex toys.
Right, and then, dude, there was still more. I also saw just today. I didn't even notice it. You know how they Tastemakers Arcade1Up already had what do they call the little 10 artwork?
We're
that was like
it all.
It was like
I told
$15
you,
at
Justin,
Walmart, right?
There's
It's like
no need
it's like,
to keep talking.
It's like this
That's gonna be
big.
fun for the
We're
live
doing
stream
it all.
tonight.
Dude, they have a 10 that's huge. Did you see that one?
Look,
It's like 2 foot by 1 foot.
Floodlines.
Decoration on your wall.
You know what I love about
now
Justin?
I'm doing the accent.
I love that Justin's like, tell me the one thing that surprised you about it, and he's like, it's the tins, it's the Coleco.
I'm gonna tell you
it's
the entire
I'm
booth.
telling you the whole lineup: the Fraga, the Pac-Man sex toys, the joysticks. Yeah.
Yeah, that went on too long. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I apologize.
All right, so
To
guys,
summarize, the big surprise was that entire side of smaller arcades.
I just totally
That's
stirred
awesome.
the pot with the Castlevania on Frogger. So I asked John about this. I'm like, dude, what is up? He's like, well, we were just kind of like
Well, that's
messing
gonna be
around
fun
with
for
the
the
thing or
live
whatever,
stream
just to see
tonight.
how powerful it could be, the hardware we're using. So it can run Mega Drive games, obviously.
It was originally the Robotron Partycade, but now it's the
okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be, no, I don't want to start shit. It's not going to be the Castlevania. Wait, what?
No, so the Robotron was the
No, but I want to make sure that
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
clear that that's not a product they're releasing.
Yeah, make it clear.
The Frogger, yes, it's not going to have Castlevania on it, but it does make me wonder: did they do that on purpose? Because all they had to do was just unplug them or take the batteries out of them. I don't know why you'd like. Do they really think that no one's going to go up and take it and look at it? So I'm sure that might have been one of these things where they're like, "Look, it's powerful enough to run."
Okay,
What?
we're wrapping up right
Let's
now.
wrap up.
You know why? Because people in the chat are saying they are hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving.
We
dude.
just
we gotta
took
do
up
this.
2 hours of all these people's time
Do you
with
guys-
the CES wrap up.
It's the last show, so we have to. So I will say this, guys, and I don't want to bum you guys out. We probably cannot do a show this Sunday. Like,
Right.
we probably can't.
We actually discussed this.
Yeah.
It's not fair to our family. We've
Yeah.
been gone. I can't also because I'm flying to New York.
Yeah. But, like, literally, I would feel bad if I did a show on Sunday, considering I've been gone all week. And this isn't even, like, my real job. So not only have I been away from my job, I've been away from the family and
That's
kids
right.
and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, so-
no show this Sunday.
So, what do you think? E3? Should we do it?
I don't know. Guys, should we go to E3?
Like, I think we had a lot of fun at CES.
We did have a lot of fun. It was super fun.
And we could maybe do a repeat of this.
I think so. E3 is a little different because it's more modern, but you know Arcade1Up's going to bring the freaking thunder at E3. They're just crazy right now. Like, I feel like Scott is like, we're doing it.
Dude.
All right, well, we're doing E3 then.
Guess
Confirmed.
I guess we're doing E3.
E3 confirmed.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Three-peat.
We had an
Oh.
incredible time.
Yeah, we did.
And you know
Like,
why we had an incredible time? Because of you guys. Like, seriously.
Yeah, no, seriously.
We're
this,
not.
this really does, like, no joke. This would really be not fun without this show.
Like,
Like
literally,
this show
us
has
doing
made
these
it so fun.
We didn't plan that part of it, of us doing the live stream. I mean, we planned on doing the live streams, but we
Yeah.
didn't know how interactive it'd be.
Oh, man,
And that
see
we
how
would
fat I
take
am
that
right now.
information and then bring it back into the show the next day and actually interact with them and talk about the chat.
And little do you guys probably know, because this will be the first time we've shared it, like, we are literally all day talking about what you guys ask us.
Yeah, to them.
Yeah, so we're trying to figure out, like, we're talking to all the Arcade1Up people about what you guys say. At the stuff we can share, not like, hey, you guys doing a line of sex toys? Forget about it. We're not sharing that, but we
got a super chat. $9.99. Thank you so much for Skill Matey. You must go to E3. Well,
we're doing it then.
There you go.
Yeah, our families will kill us, but all right,
that's right.
If we do E3 for real though, Justin, no joke. If we do E3, Kim has to come.
Okay. Well,
Kim's
I'm definitely not staying with you then.
yeah. There's no bunking up then. Okay.
I think that
as
joke
much as
is
you
dead.
want to bunk up, it's not happening.
that joke is dead.
Yeah,
we can let that one die with the CES
all
here.
Right. But no, seriously, this was really fun, and it just trust me, like this is truly authentic when I say that this show has like changed. It's reinvigorated me. Like
it's been so great that someone in the
totally
chat earlier actually said, "Are you going to do normal videos still?"
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
But
I'm not. But he is.
No, I am definitely going to do normal videos still, but it's one of those things where I'll probably do a little less, like maybe one a week, because I was doing 2 a week for a year.
For a year.
So like, when people come up to me and go, "Hey, I've had a YouTube for a year and I don't have as many like subscribers or views," I say, "Well, how often do you publish videos?" And they're like, "Oh, once a month." And it's like, or twice a month. And it's like, I really truly think that you got to be consistent with it, or else you can't really build an audience. And it's just this whole thing. If I can just be as like transparent as possible, this whole thing I never expected to get this big, and it is the thing outside of my family and Kim is my family, but my fiance, my kids. Like, this is the thing that I am most passionate about, not my real job. Like, this is, if I could do this as my job, if someone told me tomorrow, this could be your job, and I don't know what that means, like, more than just this show, but, like, this whole thing, I would quit my job in 2 seconds. I would have so much pleasure going into that office and going,
it's funny.
I'm going to pursue my passion now.
It's like, really,
peace the F out.
Yeah. So I think I should tell him my big news.
Yeah, that'd be cool. He has really big, and it's really, and it's especially like if you're really nerdy, not nerdy, but like if you're into like everything that we love, then you'd think his news is really cool.
So here it is, guys. I get
a
little nervous.
I hope you're going to share the news. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, the big one, right? Yeah.
I was about to say something that they would have totally.
Okay, so check it out, guys. Hold on. I hope you guys are happy, but like proud of me, maybe. I don't know.
It's cool.
It's really cool. So Console Kits is going away. I'm like, seriously, my voice is breaking.
Dude, please don't cry on the show.
I'm not gonna cry, all right?
Kim, so let me tell you something. Kim doesn't like when people cry.
So one of the things that's great about working with Ralph, I've been working with Ralph for a while now. Behind the scenes, a lot.
Don't cry, dude.
I'm not gonna cry, all right?
Please don't. I'll get weird.
So some of the live streams allowed me to work on the ability to communicate. And I think I've been a pretty good communicator over the years, but doing these live streams, and it's like a lot of conversations with Ralph about technical things. And literally, there was no plan of telling this, but we're kind of like end of CES, and not a lot of people that are really, really close, you're kind of more of an intimate crowd. So back in August, I got a call from a company, and they reached out to me and said, you'd like to interview for this job. And so I quit my job, the current job that I have as a software developer, because this new job is great.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And
I mean, it's a really cool project.
Right. So because of that, the channel that I have, Console Kits, it's not. I'm not going to grow it anymore. I'm going to work with Ralph. That's the plan. And
they're going to think that's the news if they leave, so you need
no. And the reason is because I just won't have time for anything else, because I got the job at Disney Plus.
Yeah, he's working at Disney.
Like straight up, like
doing
if you're
the Disney
a big
Plus project.
Like if you guys know how much of a Star Wars fan I am.
Yeah, it's almost like
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
yeah, it's so cool. So it's like I'm very proud of him for that. That's super awesome. Like, yeah, it's an awesome thing.
And part of it was when I did the interviews, I shared this with them.
What?
This.
Really?
Yeah, the things that we were doing.
That's pretty cool.
Like-
Oh well, yeah, you told me that.
Because the whole
Like
thing,
that-
I was
you told me that.
interviewing with my microphone, and they were like, "What are you doing? Like a podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, there's this guy, Retro Ralph, when we do live streams." And they're like, "Really?" And just the whole interview went so well.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing is though, like, it hones your like. It's not easy to continue to talk for that amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, especially to do it when you know that, like, we're staring at a webcam.
Right.
You know, but you guys are all
But
on the
it
other
was
end.
the same setup. Like when I'm talking to you on the live show, it was a remote interview. I mean, it was like 6 interviews. It took 4 months to get the job. Like, okay, I start Monday.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
My first interview was August 15th.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Right? So I was interviewing before they launched.
It's crazy.
I'll be working on the Disney Plus app for the gaming consoles. Holy crap.
It's so cool. His project is really cool. So I'm super proud of him for that.
Yeah, so because of that, my only involvement with YouTube will have to be the live streams with you.
Well, lucky me.
Yeah. And so I encourage you.
Okay.
You know, you said earlier, and this is why I wanted to bring it up to you, you know, your passion, you know, is this, you know.
It is.
And it's not that day job. But I think one day maybe
we're going to make this happen.
We're going to make this happen.
We're going to make this happen. I think so too. We're going to own maybe we will own the world like Arcade1Up wants to. Cuz you can if they can do it, anybody can. They were selling goddamn Hatchimals like a year ago. I mean, seriously, they went from Hatchimals to the biggest at-home arcade company. Why can't anybody else? You, me, console kits, AK Justin, you can do whatever you want. You just got to apply yourself to it, and it's true.
Right.
Now I want to say the line that George McFly said. And what's that line?
I know what it is.
At the end of Back to the Future 1.
You know, if you put your mind to it,
you can accomplish anything.
All
right, now do we have to hug? That's probably it. That's probably the end of the show.
All right.
Do we have to hug?
I think we have to hug.
All right, let's hug. All right, buddy. There's your hug. All right, guys, we're out. Thanks so much. You guys have been awesome.
It was one of those half hugs.
Yeah, that was
whatever.
kind of a wicked half hug. And yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We will see you on the next one. It won't be this Sunday. It'll be the Sunday after. So I'll probably publish one video between that time or something.
Yeah.
But
keep it going.
Oh,
bud.
my mic thing came off. All right. Thanks, guys. You guys have been awesome. We appreciate it. Take care.
On the next one.
On the next one.